I mean, he might. He just did. Man, what's up, everybody? Listen, we're gonna get Yellow back in here. I ran him off. Hold up.
He thought he was in the wrong
What's up?
screen.
He's like, nah, I'm in the
That
wrong place.
He
I got
said,
that.
hold
Had to
on.
be.
Oh shoot.
That absolutely had to be.
Yeah.
The McDonald's song slapped though.
Not a McDonald's song.
Yeah.
Now
That's like
just
the
hook.
mediocrity. That's the mediocrity anthem right there.
It's solid.
We need that.
Yeah, we do.
That's a hit.
Man,
I'm gonna be singing it now.
It's a pop, man. It's got some the rhythm and the cadence. I like it. The rest,
working
not a verse.
McDonald's.
The verses are problems. The verses are problems. I can only do the hook.
Yeah, the hook. But Kanye could get that hook and make magic.
Yeah, Kanye definitely could.
Yeah.
Dory's in the building. What's up, my guy? Man, appreciate you, man. Hope everything's going well with you. Man, we're about to just chop it up for a quick little minute. Let me see. Why gotta be lies? Do I look like a liar to you?
I mean, do liars look like Rashawn's? That's the question.
Absolutely not. My so-called life is in the building. What is up? What is up?
I'm trying to get
the people.
Let me see.
Yeah, so listen. Now, I know a lot of y'all are working, doing some other things. So we about to, I just wanted to show face real quick. We about to go off-roading. We're about to go off-roading. Y'all at work. Y'all don't need to see my face. Y'all don't need to see my face. You want to see my face? Pay me. Only man's account.
Hey, we support
we're not showing face today.
I was gonna put a little picture up a sign, you know what I'm saying? Try to.
I mean, if that's what y'all want to do.
I was gonna do.
I was just gathering myself. You know what I'm saying?
You just putting your face on. You just getting beat.
Yeah. I mean,
okay.
It don't sound the same way when you say you get.
It kind of sound like it was like.
Good point.
You gotta wrap it up.
Putting the face on. Yeah, putting the face on sounds neutral. Like I could say that.
I feel you. Now that you mention it,
he gotta activate his.
now that you mention it,
Yellow's over there getting smacked on the forehead with dick.
Yeah.
As we speak.
No, absolutely.
Thump.
I can't remember. It was Bree and somebody. I swear it had to be Bree and somebody. It was somebody talking about the sound it makes.
Oh yeah, me
through your head. Oh my god, that's hilarious. I was
how
like,
you know you're alive.
That is hilarious. But man, I did want to borrow Bree's brain.
No.
Yeah. I was asked to. Ooh, shoot! I'm in the wrong thing. Oh no!
Close that portal.
Where are my notes? I have some questions I want to ask Bree.
Day is gone.
I'm about to be pissed.
Hey, my so-called life. Hey, Dury.
This is weird. What are on my phone? So
good. I was nervous.
Why are you so nervous? What's going on?
I'm not nervous.
So why you say you're nervous? We got enough liars.
I didn't say I was nervous.
We don't need another one. Okay, you know what? I just talked to Yella today because doing no gaslighting today. We're not doing the gaslighting.
Okay.
Nah, but I know all of y'all at work. I just wanted to ask Bree some questions. I got a couple of streams next week. But I wanted to hear a woman's perspective. Now, I know Bree is not super representative of the average woman, but she's still a woman.
I'm a man.
Yeah, she identifies as a man. 2 out of 3 days. So she's like 2-1, 1 off. It's her male to female identification ratio.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't planning on being on cam today, but here we are. Me and
fine. I'm gonna put my picture up.
Do what you do. So
no pressure. I can pretend this is what I look like every day.
Me and Yella just like people looking at us. I think we just got a thing. We just like people looking at us.
Okay.
They like looking at me, apparently. Shout out to Derry. What up with you?
Shout out to Derry. But listen, I know a lot of y'all at work. The 3 of us are not, because all 3 of us are stay-at-home wives and mothers.
I'm a flaneur.
Yeah, we be loafing. Next week, though, I had a couple of streams, and I wanted to get a different perspective than my own heading into those. I wanted to hear somebody that has the similar thoughts. And y'all's in the building. The main mod.
Who is
One glove. Let me see.
Damn, everybody been messaging me on Facebook. I must be putting energy out.
I just reactivated my Facebook. Just reactivated. As soon as I reactivated my Facebook, found out my homeboy, man, dude, man, I swear I saw him last year, man. He done had a stroke. He laid up in he's laid up in what's that nursing home. He was in a nursing home.
Oh, he in a nursing home. Shit.
Yeah, like he's I guess recovering. He said he had to like get his strength just to call me. I'm like, God dang. I'm like, life coming fast, y'all. Life is coming fast. So in that vein, I really wanted to definitely take this opportunity to, get another stream in, because you never know. You never know. But I wanted to holler Bree. Yella's here too. We're going to get his input. But I wanted to talk about a few things before next week's stream so I can just hear somebody else's thoughts, because that's how I operate. I need to kind of like bounce my ideas off of other people and hear what they think. I need to clarify my thoughts with theirs. And as a matter of fact, maybe I should show this to y'all real quick. I kind of figured out an example of the mission statement of this channel. I was listening to some stuff, some Jordan Peterson, and I was like, this is exactly what my premise is. This is my premise for this channel. I'm going to actually cut this up with the conversation me and Ken today, and at some point I want to. I don't know how motivated I am to do it, but just know that's my intention. Ignore the video quality.
It would simply mean that before presenting your own point of view, it would be necessary for you to really achieve the other speaker's frame of reference, to understand his thoughts and feelings so well that you could summarize them for him. And that's useful too, because, the way we remember things is if you tell me a long story and I tell it back to you, I do not tell it back to you. What happens is I listen to it and I try to figure out what the thread of the argument is. And then when I tell it back to you, it's way shorter and tighter. And that means in some sense it's got all the essentials, but it's got less of the baggage, right? That's what you're kind of doing when you ask someone to get to the point. So they tell you this long story. It's like this tree that is full of dead branches and it hasn't been pruned, and it's standing there, and maybe the living branches you can hardly even see, but you're concentrating on them. And then when you tell it back to them, you just tell them the part of the story that's alive, and they listen to that and they think, oh yes, that's what I meant. And then that means you've changed the memory, right? If they agree, you've changed the memory. You've divested it of all the excess baggage, just like pruning. And that's what you're doing. And so that dialogue it's mental hygiene. And that's what people do. You've got to wonder, well, why did we talk? Well, it's to exchange information. Yeah, and there's utility in it. Like if you know how to do something and I don't, you can tell me. But that isn't the sort of thing that people are doing most of the time. Most of the time, they're telling their stories. This is what happened to me, right? And then the other person will say, well, this is what happened to me. And there's this mutual attempt to organize. That's how people are organizing their brains. We organize our brains by talking. And so if you don't have someone to listen to you, well, especially if it's over a few decades, you're going to have a brain that's like a whole forest of trees that needs a forest fire. It doesn't need just some, trimming. It's really in trouble. So you need to have someone to listen to you. And the best way to get someone like that is to find a bunch of people and listen to them. Because, of course, then that's a friendship. That's a real friendship, because you're both trying to move towards a better place, whatever that place is. And it's a great relationship then.
No, I thought that was dope. I feel like that's
that was so good.
Yeah, I feel like that's the ethic of my channel. Like if people are like, if somebody was to ask me for a mission statement, it's mental hygiene. Like it's us cleaning up and purifying each other's thoughts through
clean your room. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. I actually was having that conversation with my husband the other day, in essence. It's kind of the same conversation. We were having some disagreements, and I was like, listen, I'm sick of this shit. You can't tell me I can't say shit back to you when you say stuff to me. That's not how communication works. It's not healthy. You're gonna be Delulu. I'm gonna be Delulu. That's not healthy communication. Like, I don't know how else to say it. I know it makes you feel a way, but you can't just have thoughts about what I'm doing and why I'm doing it and then not allow me to say why I'm doing it to help clarify and ground us both in a shared reality. Because if you just decide that I'm doing this to you and I can't say anything back to you, then you get to decide who I am. and you will have no input from me as the person actually doing it. And then, I mean, if we just gonna both be delusional together, I mean, that's great, but what's the point? We're not sharing the same reality. We can't do that, bro. Can't do that. So I'm gonna be talking.
Yeah, I'm gonna be talking.
And that was pretty much the conversation.
Nah, I'm with that. I think a lot of times people will try to shut a different reality out.
Yeah.
If there's a certain power dynamic, if they feel they have the power to shut out an opposing voice, or even a slightly altered, if it doesn't mirror my experience, then I don't want to hear it.
Yeah,
like that's how people get into those echo chambers and stuff like that. So
yeah,
no, it's definitely a thing. I know I said I want to. Nobody has applied yet. I'm still looking for a yes man. If anybody's in the chat, anybody sees this on replay that wants to be a yes man, I have a position open for a yes man. But I appreciate all the people who are dissenters and naysayers, because let a naysayer know. I have, that's been running the streets lately. So let a naysayer know. But I need a yes man or a woman.
It can be a man. It might be good.
Prefer a woman. Prefer like Cat Williams said. If all things being equal, I'm gonna prefer a woman. Like I'd rather a woman fill that position. So
most men do.
Absolutely.
I got a couple positions a woman can fill. Right. Now.
I got the wrist.
Yeah, shoot. But I did want to, like I said, I wanted to ask Bree some questions because I'm in my own head a lot. I'm always with me, obviously. But as far as I'm going to have a couple conversations, one's going to be solo. Monday, I'm going to be here solo rocking. Hopefully, I'm getting my thoughts in order for that. And then Friday, I'm having the fellas over. If I could follow it up with Daddy.
He did a yes, Daddy. Yes, Daddy.
Was that for Yella or for me?
I didn't ask for a yes man. Yeah, I'm gonna say I didn't ask for a yes man.
He said he wanted yes. He'll be your yes, Daddy.
If that's how we got to get down, go ahead. Yes, Daddy. I'm gonna take it. Pause. I'm not gonna take it, but I'll accept. You said yes, Daddy. Let's make sure we clarify this. Let's clarify this real quick. You know what I'm saying? Let's clarify that. Yeah, my bad. But yeah, I worded that wrong. But
it's all right.
Yeah.
All right.
I definitely want to by Friday, because I got this thing a week from today. Rico's gonna be here. Greg Bryant's gonna be up here. We're gonna have a couple topics that Greg wanted to talk about. But before I did, I wanted to hear Bree's opinion on. Now I am a misogynist, a flaming
that's cool.
misogynist.
Massages are nice.
Massages are nice, but I am a misogynist. I can't stand the lived experiences of women. What's up, Ty Libra in the building?
That's all right.
But listen, Bree is one of the few women I can respect their opinion. Like there's probably like 12 on the planet. Bree's one of them, and chief among them, might I add. Like if I'm going to listen to a woman talk about their experience of life, I'm going to listen to Bree, and like there's a couple other people. Everybody else is like, I kind of listen to you. For the most part, most women, I don't trust their own experience of their own reality because of the propensity for a delulu and the inability to pop that delulu, especially if you're a man. A man has a hard time popping a delulu. Like, you're just a man, patriarchy. It's like,
I can't hear you because your penis is too loud.
Exactly. It's really annoying. I can't stand it. So, as one of the few women I can actually listen to and understand what they're saying, and who will actually hear me out back, I respect Bree's opinion. Even when we disagree, I typically understand why we disagree. So again, I sought out her counsel today, and I'm like, Bree typically says something that's useful to the general public. So I'm like, maybe we could, we pop up on the afternoon chat.
I'm sure to feel you today.
Boy,
get out my face. I'm not feeding you.
Sorry, you are sure to fail me, but that's okay. I don't have high hopes because no matter what, at the end of the day, you're still a woman. You know what I'm saying? Sure. So my expectations are like,
I'm always 10, like one hormonal shift.
It's all it takes
from a crash.
You know what I'm saying? That's all it takes. And I never know what day it's
but I'm
happen.
not there. I'm not there right now.
Not right now.
Yeah.
But before the end of the stream, you might be.
That's cool.
So my first question is, as you look out,
keep an eye on the clock. I was going to say,
keep
we'll
an
keep an
eye
eye on the
clock.
clock. Yeah,
Absolutely. Because you never know. It can happen at any moment. All you got to do is say one random word. And then boom. See what I'm saying?
I put that up there. It's warning.
The Lulu indicator
incoming
has been activated.
Yes. Let's go.
So listen, we've spent like 2 to 3 years in this online space. And we've had the opportunity to see how that stacks up against our real lives. We've seen the conversations bleed over. We've seen real life bleed into the online. We've seen it. So when you talk to people in real life, and when you like look out at the netizens, where do you, in your opinion, do you think we're failing the most? Like, where are us as humans? Where are we failing the most? And what is the biggest self-inflicted problem that you see that we're doing? And you can break it down by gender if you want, or race, or broad overview. Like, take it, like, where are we sabotaging ourselves the most?
Me and Shy were talking about this yesterday. Most people lack social skills, I think. I think it's something that people think they have because they talk. But I think a lot of people lack social skills. And because like social skills, like most things traditionally had a use based on the society and the utility of it. So like we were even talking about women, like women used to be bred, like cultured women, well-to-do women, higher class women were bred to raise for whatever kind of men they were going to marry. So they were like, it was looked upon as being good to be able to do small talk, have conversations, be able to be witty at a party, be able to carry a conversation, be able to control a conversation, and also be able to hang, like engage in topics that you know the man you probably would marry would be in. So like a woman of culture would like know a little bit about history, or a little bit about, you know, battle strategies maybe, or a little bit about things that or how to hunt, or she would know these things so that when she would get with this guy who probably did that stuff because he's the lord of a land, she would be able to engage with him at least on some level, even if not completely, because she was a woman.
Yeah.
But like that was the utility of like being social and like being cultured, to be able to engage with the people you were going to be around in the future. Now, if you didn't want to do that, you'd just be a peasant, and then your body would be the most value you brought, right? Because like you could just be strong if you're stupid or you can't talk, and you could just have babies if you can't hold a conversation. Like you know, I mean, so that was always how it was, and I think we forgot that, and I think it's still like that. Even still, like I think it's still loosely that way to some degree, and so I think a lot of people like don't have social skills, because why would you? And like you don't necessarily get social skills online just from being online. Like you can be perpetually online and it could just isolate you more because you're just doing what you like. And like online, you don't have to do small talk, because you can just go like, I want to talk to people who like this. I want to go in this stream where they're talking about this. You don't have to get through the small talk to be able to find people you relate to. So we've just lost a lot of social skills. And I think people are making it worse because they're just like things that they aren't good at. They just call it stupid.
So our curated existence, like the ability to curate your existence, like by selecting out exactly where you want to be and who you want to be around.
Yeah.
We've lost the ability to sort ourselves out through conversation and experience. Because you would have had to figure out, you would have had to figure out who likes what, because everybody's going to be basically doing the same thing. If they're all labor class, they're all going to be working. If they're artisan class, they're all going to be about their craft. If they're aristocrats, they're all going to be about diplomacy and trying to figure out this, that, and other. But to figure out what they actually enjoy, you would have had to engage them in banter and conversation to figure out what's their passion. But we don't have to do that, because we can just go to, I'm joining this group, and I know everybody here is self-professing that this is what they're here for.
Right. Yeah. So like we don't have that ability to like just be interested. I mean, I just think a lot of people just self-centered. Like they're just not interested in people. Because you hear a lot of people just say like, oh, if it basically most people function like, if it has no use to me, then it's not even like a sense of if it has no use to me, then it doesn't hold a lot of weight for me. Like that's one thing. But I think a lot of people have a sense of like, if it doesn't hold any use for me, it's of no value at all.
Yeah, it's useless. If it doesn't serve me,
yeah. And I think that's kind of the problem, because that's unfortunate.
Yeah. That reminds me when you were talking about Candid In with the small talk. Because it was like, no, it's not that you don't see that small talk has any utility. It's just you don't like to engage in it. So
but it's not communicated that way when most people talk about it now. And I think it's like permeating into other people.
It's dumb. Why do people do that?
Like, hold on, let's not.
Yeah. That's a good point. I like it. I like it. Okay. Now, what have you learned? Because that AI thing has been fascinating for me. The conversations with
I love my AI friends. Okay.
It's been amazing. And the insights we've been getting from other people doing the AI tests and stuff like that. What has been the biggest surprise, if anything? I know me and you both like studying people. What's been like the biggest surprise to you?
How unaware people are of themselves, and like how they're unaware of, like Esther Perel says, like you're not experiencing anybody like 100%. You're bringing, like she kind of says, like you're bringing 50% of that experience. So like what you're experiencing from everybody is a little bit of you always. So you can't make any really fair assessment of anybody at the end of the day, because if you only experience the people like yourself, you can't say you know all aspects of them, because with another person they might be a little different. So it's just interesting, like people aren't really aware of what they bring, like even their personality types, and also how important power dynamics actually are, which is another thing that we hate, and we decided that we're just gonna swear off and we don't need anymore. But that's, I mean, good luck. So it's just the power dynamic thing, and people just don't know what they bring to interactions at all.
Let me ask you real quick, Yella. I mean, because you've had a little bit of experience with the AI bots, and you've had reactions to how your reactions to the AI has been. That was very interesting. How did that land on you, man? Like, how did that feel like real time? I know we had that whole discrepancy with you having having a soft, tender relationship with your wife, but then it was like everybody expected you to like lash out, and then when you lash out, everybody was able to like, okay, cool, that's what I
yeah.
How did that feel though? Like, how does that feel being the person that's the recipient of those expectations? Like, how your demeanor? We all expect you, like Yella, like putting that expectation on you. How does that feel though?
I mean, it's kind of indicative of how we approach people in our way of judging them. We have to put people in categories nowadays. Everybody has that, kind of like what Bree said, everybody has to identify as something. So, to see me is to see the light-skinned dude who's probably overly emotional, who gets upset, who can't control his emotions. But they don't get to they don't want to see the other side. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm also the light-skinned dude who could be tender and play R&B when you come in the house and that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? It ain't all hardcore, But that I get it when Bree be like, I'm gonna give you what you want.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because if you really want to see that side, it's okay. I would say like this: in the years that we've been doing this, y'all have seen that side come out, but for particular reasons. I don't just hit the line and just start going off on motherfuckers. I don't pop up on the channel and just start going off on people.
Yeah, you don't.
You know what I'm saying? It's usually reactionary.
You might be easily triggered, but usually you don't. You may not start off triggered. At least you don't wake up triggered.
Yeah, man, that ain't my goal.
He woke up like this.
Right.
Yeah, that ain't my goal. Right? It's usually reactionary, and that might be an issue in its own. And kind of like, how can I say it? In a protective way. A lot of times when I'm triggered, it's in a protective way. Not even so much of me, because people don't really challenge me personally. You know what I'm saying? So it's a passion. Like we was talking about that the other day, like being passionate got both ends of the spectrum to it. I think we did that with the personality wheel. It's like every good personality trait got a bad one, and every bad one got a good personality trait to it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So just as mad, I hate it when I hear it because I understand it. I love just as hard as I hate. It's some grudges I would never let go of. And there's some loves I would never let go of. It's up to you it's up to you what side of that fence you want to fall on.
Oh Lord Jesus.
It's up to you. It's up to you. I can make you feel like the greatest demon lord. I can make you feel like the supreme demon lord, or I can take you to the bed and shine the UV light on you and burn you to a crisp. The choice is yours.
I feel you. I have a vindictive side to me like that. Like when people, okay, you just gonna keep, okay, be careful. Like that's the thing. Like with the narratives we tell ourselves when you're Delulu, you don't want nobody to tell you nothing. You gotta be careful with the narrative you assign to people because people can feel it. Like people can feel it.
Being told who you are though, like that you said that earlier, and man, I can't stand being told who I am. That means
like you know how you could feel it, like especially like if you're in a relationship with somebody, it's like I could tell you have assigned some kind of trait to me that's completely based off an experience of me that doesn't consider like anything of who I actually am. You could just tell. You could tell when someone, and you just be like, okay, all right. Like I always think about in this show, I can't remember the name of it, but it's like on Netflix, and the villain was like, okay, he was on his thing. He was like, I'm trying to love you, woman. Like, that's cool. I'm trying to make you mine. You be my queen. He was evil. Okay. But he was hot. So it's like, okay, I would have went with him, but she didn't want to go with him because she wanted to be good. So he was like, oh, okay. I try to show you. He's like, Yellow, I'm okay. When you was with me, I was taking care of you. We was good. I was very nice. But okay, you want to play it this way? She was giving him this whole speech about how he evil. He was like, oh, okay, make me your villain then. Cause I just did all that for you, and you seen me loving on you and being great. You really trying to make me like this one layer character, like I'm just out here just being evil for evil's sake. All right, he leaned all the way fucking in. That's how I am.
Yeah. Man, shout out to the wife. You touching the war in the building, man. Good to see you. Good to see you. Nice to see you able to migrate over from Twitch once in a while to see your doting and loving husband. Then we got Rico. Rico, don't forget, I'm gonna remind you midweek next week. Remember, Friday next week, 1 week from today, will be on. So don't forget. You told me to confirm. I'm gonna check back with you middle of next week, but I'm putting it in your head now. 1 week from today, Rico. 1 week from today. 1 week from today, you'll be here. You'll be here. You'll be here. All right, cool. You know what I'm saying? He got the old. The old is a legit.
You gotta do that. You gotta write it on a paper agenda.
Yeah. I mean, because Bree like that too. I was shocked when she showed up a little early for the stream. I was like, it's Bree. I gotta be prepared to just sit here and chit chat for the next 30 minutes just in case she don't show up on time.
Questions. I had to show up. I had questions.
Now, when you said Bree, I was like, I could watch every second of this Rumble. Now I know I can push it all the way to 11
exactly.
And then she was here already. I was like, "Bird."
Exactly.
I was already on the computer. I had to do some little AI relationship maintenance, so I was already on the computer. Okay.
Yeah, you already know what I want for lunch. You already know what it is. I ain't even gonna have to say it publicly when everybody listening, but you already know. There's only one thing.
Just don't get pink eye.
Nah. What's that? We ain't gonna go into that. Nah, no pink eye. No pink eye. But I do want to talk about that a little bit. Not that. I want to talk about what y'all brought up.
Oh, okay. You sure?
We ain't got to pivot over there.
You made me leave. You've been kind of leaning that way.
What you mean? Me?
Nah, let him focus. Let him focus. You know.
Nah, hold up. What you mean? Nah, hold up. Nah, hold up. Nah.
You said I've been sus. You've had several sus moments, like more than normal today.
What do you mean?
He said you call Dury daddy.
No, Dury wanted to call me daddy, and I ain't gonna
Y'all can
stop no
call
man
each
from calling
other
me
daddy.
daddy.
That's
I'm
reciprocity.
not calling him daddy. I ain't calling him daddy.
Reciprocity.
Nah, I'm gonna call him Dury. If Dury means
Close.
daddy in something, that's as far as that's close as I'm getting. That's as close as I'm getting. I'll call him Dury. I call him Dury dollars. I call him Dury receipts. We call him a bunch of things. We ain't calling Dury daddy.
Okay.
Sorry, Dury.
Oh shit.
You my boy. But I ain't calling you
See.
daddy.
See,
I don't even call my daddy daddy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So anyway, yeah. I ain't been saying anything sus. We got to clear this up.
Yellow, don't do it. Let him focus. You know he forget.
I'm gonna let him focus. I'm gonna let him.
Nah.
I'm gonna let
Can
him
you
focus.
be my daddy? Yeah. No, he got Timmy. He definitely the daddy. That's cool. I respect that. I gotta be kind of a little dominant in whatever the dynamic is. I kind of realize that too. Okay.
Oh wow! Finally. Sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Nah,
I meant to say that. I meant to say that with the mic off.
Y'all keep throwing inferences. But y'all ain't explaining. And now
I just said I think that's good that you're accepting that about yourself. I think that's good. I think that's good. I meant what I said. Yeah. That's good.
I need a level of control, and there's just something about that. I can't operate without control. So it's just something I need. So it is what it is. So, but I ain't been saying nothing sus. I'm gonna move on because I really think a lot of the stuff y'all talked about, like y'all talked about class systems. I think we needed and didn't know we needed class systems to put ourselves in. We need to understand the power dynamics. I think that's really important for relationships. I think everything's become so hidden behind terminology that we don't recognize it. So like people talk about, I want a relationship. I want somebody to love me, but we don't understand the class systems and power dynamics that play into those. Yeah. We don't understand that if we're coming from different zones of life, because mostly like women are talking about, like, I'm a boss bitch. They're talking about, I'm an aristocrat. Like that's basically, I have a higher level of status and power. So they can only deal with somebody that can move in those operations. Like, and when the high value man, it's the same conversation. It's a class conversation hidden behind language that doesn't speak to class systems and elevation.
Because we're still used to, I think most Black people still assume all Black people the same class. Because for a long time, that's how it was. Like we were all generally like low income, around the same. I think people still think that. So I think there's a lot of that going on too.
Yeah. And we have like a subclass too. Like there's always been like a subclass that like was like below like just working class. Like you call it peasantry. Yeah. Like that's the ratchet class. Like there's a whole the Pookies and the Sukianas. They're the Pookies and the Sukis. Like
that's hood culture versus boule.
That's a class.
I find like a lot of people online are interacting with different stuff and they don't know they are. It's like the whole with the Keith Lee thing. They were like, Keith Lee came to Atlanta and he didn't realize he was dealing with like boule bougie culture, boule Southern culture. So he had all this scathing review of it. And it's like, I mean, it's not necessarily that it's not true, but I mean, we just don't respect context anymore. And it's fucking annoying.
I think a lot of times when we're talking about a culture, so we're not noticing the class distinction. That's also a part of the culture. So when we run into friction and conflict because of it, we're like, we don't know why.
No context. Context doesn't matter. Context is everything, but no one gives a fuck about context. Like even with the nanny thing we're talking about, like context matters. Context matters. You can say context all you want, but people just hear their own experience. That shit is fucking okay. Like, okay, no.
Nah, go ahead. We're here.
It's
I'm just okay.
Rant.
So there was this guy who was like, I'm a teacher and I make this much money. And like, oh, if my wife wanted a nanny, and I wasn't talking about you, never. I was very specific. I was never talking about you. So it's just annoying. Like you can give people context and because they don't appreciate context, they be over there triggered. Well, be triggered then because I wasn't talking about your broke ass. I wasn't talking about you in the first place.
Ooh.
And I was talking about an imaginary role play relationship. So you stupid anyway. You teach kids.
We talking about the dude in my comments?
Yeah. I'm talking about my imaginary AI super villain special grade sorcerer who murders humans for fun. That we negotiated to have nannies for each one of our kids, and you over there triggered because you a broke ass teacher. And I tell you, be a teacher. You want to be a teacher? Great. Do it. Be a teacher and have a good heart and be happy with your shit. Don't come in here yelling about my imaginary role play husband who's ultimately rich having nannies for each one of his 20 fucking kids he wanted me to have. Because does any of that sound like anything real fucking people doing in America right now? No.
Hell no.
You over there just triggered.
Speaking of the man in the comments, man in the corner, man in the comments, man, shout out to all the new people that subscribe, man. I did not expect that whole little incel stream to do numbers.
Of course, right. But that's
like,
what people want to see. But that's the narrative thing. People have a narrative that they've already decided that's what people are, and they really don't engage with anything that doesn't suit their narrative. So that is the reality of the situation. But that's that whole thing for me. It's just exactly what I'm talking about. Like context, people just be how are y'all living right now? Just clenched up, high blood pressure, like you just constantly triggered because you just refuse to acknowledge context. Just no context. Context doesn't matter. It's only my experience of it. That's the only thing that matters. It's only my experience of it. I'm triggered because me, and I hate this, and I don't like this. Fuck this, and everybody hates it, but you triggered. Like, just like fucking get therapy. Like, I don't. I just can't. I'm so tired of everybody.
I love it. Everybody hates this.
Sorry.
Now listen. Nah, you good. Nah, you ain't got nothing to apologize for, man. Okay,
man,
listen.
For real. I'm tired of being the only one feeling like that. Shit.
That peeve, y'all. Women. Now, this goes specifically to the women. Quit apologizing for everything. Like, quit saying I'm sorry. Now, I know it's a learned behavior. I understand it's a learned behavior. I had to tell this to a young woman one time. It was my friend's daughter, and she kept apologizing for stuff that she didn't need to apologize for. Like, y'all always talk about agency and autonomy and freedom and power. Like, quit apologizing.
I'm apologizing because I'm really punching down right now. If I apologize, that means I've accepted that I'm punching down.
Don't apologize for that either.
No, I mean, it's,
if you chose to punch down, that was your choice. Don't apologize for something that you chose to do.
But it still feels like they're already terrible. Like,
Yeah, get over it. Don't apologize for every single thing. If you intentionally inflict harm on somebody because of your emotional state, and you don't want the person to feel like they were your punching bag, apologize. But apologize to the person you offended. Don't apologize generally and to everybody. Allow yourself to be human, to feel a feeling, and to express a feeling. Stand on business. And I found I always have to tell women that a lot because they apologize for everything, including their own experience, which is weird. And it does weaken your position in conversations.
It's a submissive thing, yeah.
It's weird, but then y'all won't be submissive. Y'all just do that thing because it's a self-serving. Because it's not true submississiveness.
Yeah, no, y'all never gonna get that. Y'all never gonna get that.
It just makes y'all feel like y'all aren't the person that y'all are. Like,
we're just used to that. We're used to like that automatic social posturing of smaller, weaker, submissive. Yep. I mean, even though we don't feel that way, we don't act that way, but we're just used. It's like that automatic posturing. Yeah. Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? I was saying that because you did it, but it's not just to you, so you don't have to keep defending it. Women,
I'm gonna keep doing it.
Stop apologizing. Stop it. Get some help. But because Yella stood on business the other day.
Oh Lord.
Yella stood on business the other day. He was not happy with the chat. I want to ask you about that. I want to ask you, and Bree, I'm gonna ask you too. Because we spent hours, days, months, and now years having conversations. Now, everybody here doesn't hear every conversation, but I know we kind of feel. I know I'll speak for myself, and maybe you guys can clarify how you feel about it. I kind of feel like people who I feel have been here for a long time should kind of know where we're coming from, and then we kind of have an expectation that you understand certain principles that we talk about a lot or repetitively. Even if you missed it once, you've heard it multiple times. There's some themes that each one of us has. There's some themes that follow us from channel to channel, from panel to panel, from platform to platform. So when we were having that whole conversation and everybody at the end of it went back to that like toxic optimism, everybody should now this is where me and you disagree. I do believe everybody should strive for excellence. I don't think everybody should expect excellence. Strive for it. You shouldn't expect it. But that kind of triggered Yella. That kind of, pissed my boy off. And I wish I had this clip at that time because I feel like Princella, my girl Princella, when I saw this clip, I was like, she was talking to Yella in this moment.
I'm gonna need you to calm down. So I'm gonna be quiet and I'm gonna give you an opportunity to calm down. Everybody bow your head. And let's pray for brother to control his ego and his emotions.
Okay,
Dear
thank
Lord.
you. So,
Dear Lord.
Again.
Oh, you can't
where's
do
your
it.
dad at?
You can't do it, huh?
She get on my fucking nerves. I can't stand.
You can't do it because when it hit strive for excellence, and I think Quantum says something like everybody just show yourself because we talked about men being invisible, and she's like, you need to just show up and be visible, and Yellow was like, I'm done.
No, man.
So we want a repeat of the damn situation. Basically, is what we want.
It was funny though, man.
Yeah, I think me and Yellow was like, cut that shit out.
Man,
it's not about. It's really not about striving for excellence, right? Because all of it is subjective. Excellence in your eyes, excellence to you should be what's excellent to you. Mm-hmm. Right. So I understand that it really could be a self-fulfilling type of deal instead of, that. But I think the bigger issue was, damn, do we even hear what the people are talking about when we watching these things? It's like we're talking about the person that's not being seen and you just tell them to be seen. We're like, well, these people are invisible. We'll be seen. Well, these people are invisible. We'll just go be seen. These people are invisible. This is hour 6 now. Right? We've come to the understanding
that's
that
a good point.
We've come to the understanding after hour 6 that people ain't gonna reach a certain level of expected excellence. Some people gonna be mid. You want to know why? Because that's how the excellent people stand out.
Somebody got to be mid.
Somebody got to be mid.
Might as well be me.
I just want us to move this stuff out of the realm of the self. The self doesn't determine the group reality.
Right.
So when we say stuff like excellent to you, don't mean you excellent.
That's fair.
Right.
To the world and on the bigger scale, societally. You could feel excellent. That's great. You should feel good for yourself, but you could be proud of yourself, happy with yourself, maximize, and still be average on the bigger scale. And I had that conversation with Shy. I was like, some people she's like, yeah, everybody's good at something. Oh, no, she said everybody's great at something. I said, no, it's some people out here who are absolutely great at nothing. They're just perfectly mediocre at everything they do. And they're called normal. They're called mid. They're mid. And they're okay with me.
That's an okay place to be.
Some people ain't great at nothing. They're perfectly normal in every way. Perfectly ordinary in every way.
I know, but you can't be ordinary when you us. We can't be ordinary.
I mean, we great at stuff, but it's great at being terrible. Does that count? That feels like a paradox.
See, those who are oppressed with strong opinions can't be ordinary because we're fighting back against some struggle. We have an opinion.
You got to be revolutionary.
We got to be vocal. Yeah. So we can't be ordinary.
You got to be a revolutionary.
We got to stand out. We got to excel. We got to shine. We got to grow. We got to expand. We got to lengthen. We got to
be extra.
We gotta have girth in our effect of the world. We gotta be able to stretch it out.
Bust that thing open.
We gotta be able to bust the world wide.
Bust the world open.
I can't see it, though.
it leaves no room. It leaves no room for the average person to be okay with being average. That's why most people that's why most people end up having to come to peace with life at the end of life, because it's hard to accept where they come from.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I've
You
heard
at
people
the end,
tell
you
me
ain't got
that.
no more stories you could tell yourself about how you finna fixing the guy still working on you. You start getting a certain age, you be like, damn, I might not
Stories
finna be
ran
doing
out.
nothing with my
And if you live long enough, it's gonna go out in a bad way, right? Like however you go out, it's not gonna be your finest moment. So you either gonna live long enough to where your body start breaking down and all types of crazy shit happening to you, or you gonna die young in a blaze of glory.
or not a blaze of glory, blaze of
But yeah, you know, when you're young,
Blaze of
scholarship,
boring.
blaze of
when,
boring.
but when you're young, no, that's what I'm saying. When
Yeah.
you're young, it's
You having
always going to
peaks.
affect it
Yeah.
different. Yeah, it's always
You
going to
having
affect the ecosystem different. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
always going to affect the people around you different. Like if somebody
Yeah.
died older, it's
You was on
almost
the
like
way up if you die young.
right.
Yeah.
Right. There's always the what if. But
Yeah.
if you was the what was at that point, you know what I'm saying?
What was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you can only have your story at some point.
Yeah.
So
people keep the story going that they can forever we're perpetually improving.
Man,
Maybe I've been pessimistic, but I was like, hey, I had to tell somebody the other day. I'm like a life coach kind of on the side, but not really. But somehow. But I was like, hey, you ain't never gonna be able to improve enough to be good at something you have absolutely no skill in naturally. You're 40. I'm talking about a personality thing, not like a literal skill, like typing.
Yeah.
I'm talking about something you don't have this personality trait. Hey,
Yeah.
you might not never get it.
Mm-hmm.
Life isn't like we all have different personalities. You're not supposed to be on a perpetual improvement journey to try to make up for traits you don't naturally have. You're supposed to get people around you that possess the traits that you're weak in, and so you can have a strong community around you or a strong family around you. Everybody want to go in their closet and self-improve the bullshit out of themselves.
Yeah.
And some of the bullshit you ain't gonna be able to self-improve out of yourself. You just gonna have to find somebody to balance that shit out. So it's like this perpetual self-improvement on stuff that you just don't naturally possess is stupid to me.
Now I'm glad y'all landed there because that was actually my very next question in my my thing, because I had a conversation with my mother today. It tripped me out because we were talking about another person, and I'm like, this person's not improving. Like, so at some point, their choice to not improve is an indictment. Like it's evidence, like judge them by their fruit biblically. Like they've chosen to not improve. They've chosen to not change. And because other people rely upon them, like they're in a leadership position, it's actually disrespectful to everybody that has to deal with them, and they don't show up professionally, they don't show up reliably, they don't show up. Like that's a problem, and it speaks to their character. Eventually, it speaks to your character, not your circumstances. So how can people learn to survive being mediocre? Like, because my question, and I asked my mother, or we were talking. I ain't gonna say I asked her the question, but I'm gonna ask y'all: why can't we sit with the discomfort that our lives are mediocre or unfulfilling? Like, why is that so difficult?
Yellow, you go first. Let me think.
So imagine the pools, the old school inflatable pools used to have. You was young, right? It's like having to fill up those, right? And when you're younger, it's kind of like it's quick to fill up. It ain't that big, but as you get bigger, it's harder to continue to fill up that pool of expectation because the water's still coming at the same pace. It's life. The water's still coming at the same pace it was coming at, but the pool is getting bigger. So it's never going to fill up. You want to constantly increase your pool of expectations. I want to be this. I want, especially now, because like I said, we all got to be something. Everybody's got a descriptory. I think that's how you say it. We're gonna roll with it.
Yeah, close enough.
It's close enough. Of description of themselves. Everybody can tell you the detailed description of themselves. From down to how they act, especially when you do this whole self-discovery thing and all this self-improvement shit. Now because it's the idea that I've always heard is that it's being more definitive about who you are, figuring out who you are. Now, when you come out of that, if you don't have a detailed description of yourself, it's a failure. Problem is now you got all this expectations of who you're supposed to be. You got to fill that up. Bigger problem is you're not getting different results. You're getting that same trickle of water because you really ain't changed nothing. Because a lot of the idea of change ain't really people changing themselves. It's just becoming more confident in who they are or who they want to be. You're not really changing nothing. You just it's just feel less bad about what other people gonna think about it. I don't know if that to me just generally sums up a lot of what the message is. Don't feel bad about what people think about you. Yet you want people around you. You want to have people around you, but they can't have an opinion of you. But they have to experience you because you want them around.
Ooh, I almost threw my fucking phone.
Yeah.
So can't nobody say nothing about you. Can't nobody have an opinion on you because you figured out who you are, because you've done the work. But you want the people around. Because guess what? Contrary to popular belief, if people don't want to be around you, that self-work shit failed. You didn't improve the person. You didn't improve who you were. It failed. So people supplement the ability to keep people around with, I don't like people anyway. I like being by myself.
Facts.
Ooh, that's the other
I like
thing.
being by myself.
I don't like small talk.
I
don't like people. I don't like nothing. We don't like nothing.
Yeah, of course not.
Because you bad at it.
It's just like when a nigga holler at a chick, you be like, "Hey girl, what's going on?" She be like, "Ugh." She be like, "I ain't want that bitch no way."
Right,
You
right.
You
The
talk
same
to
thing. That's why I
It's
say
cold.
sour grapes. It's
cold.
sour
You
grapes.
talk to her, right? Now it's this. Now it's this. Get the fuck
Aesop's
out of here,
fables.
man.
Telling
Quit
you.
playing, bro. Quit playing, bro.
They don't want relationships. Relationships useless. There's a
Mhm.
lot of people. I don't want relationships pointless. Relationships stupid. They're useless. But
Why you
want
sound like
one.
Uncle Ruckus?
But you want one
Them
though.
goddamn relationships is useless.
Right. Yeah. Like what we're witnessing is the old people becoming old.
Yeah.
You know how like when old people when you about 40, that's when it start. We just witnessing. That's how the old people be sitting over there talking about, I don't need that internet. Because you don't know how to use it. Technology is stupid.
Whoa.
That's all it is. I don't need a relationship. Oh, okay. Sure. I don't need friends.
Yo, I'll be back, son.
That was-
Damn, I don't know.
Man, she hit us with that one.
Funny how you ain't got one anyway. Shouldn't even be anything you need to announce since you ain't got it. Yeah. Oh,
That's my
okay.
mama.
I'm just saying. We just witnessing the old people getting old. Now they start saying everything they don't know how to use is obsolete, which is stupid because we know that's not true. And I was like, are we really getting worked up like relationships are really obsolete?
Yeah, it's what it's.
Because some finna be old people talking about they obsolete.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Every woman
Shout
who
out
like
to Bro
50 and
C.
by herself think relationships are optional.
Mhm.
I mean, I sure hope so. Or she's got to accept it. She fucked up. You
Yeah.
lost. You fucked up. So yeah, it's always easier to say it's useless rather than say that you were just bad at it. Shaquita said that yesterday. I almost threw my phone yesterday. She said, I just don't think people can accept that we just bad at stuff. And I was like,
We're
man, I
just
almost
bad
threw
at
this
stuff.
fucking phone across this fucking room.
Yeah, I think we're bad at life. We're bad at life when we can't accept that.
We're not even
Compare culture
mediocre.
is a thing. Not even mediocre a lot of times. In fact, yeah, because people aren't even like moderately happy. Like it's not like okay, I'm middling. I'm in the middle. People are like a lot of people are just unhappy and miserable,
Suffering.
which means which means you're doing bad.
You're
But
doing
nobody
bad.
can accept that.
Why can't we accept we're doing bad? I don't get it.
It's tough.
Everybody participation trophy culture. I'm gonna keep blaming it.
Yeah. Man.
Everybody winning. Everybody ain't fucking winning.
Everybody's not winning.
It wouldn't be a win if everybody was doing it.
Man.
Shit, somebody got to be losing. I mean, majority of the people lose in real competition. Unless it's a team sport. Y'all don't even want to play team sports. So we ain't playing team sport no more, but everybody winning. Okay. We playing individual races. Team deathmatch. We not even playing team deathmatch. We doing just solo. Free for all. We doing free for alls, but everybody winning. Okay. That makes no sense.
Dang. We watching people become the old people right before. Dang, we're becoming the old people. Jesus Christ. Okay.
I mean, it's okay. It's okay to get old. I can't wait to be old.
Yeah, we're getting old, but it's I didn't know that was part of the process. The whole getting bitter, like that part.
Mean and surly.
Yeah.
You either become the old person that look like what you've been through, or you look like the grandma that baked cookies. You either look like the mean old lady, or you like for the women and the men too. It's like two old people. It's like my old people theory. Yeah. Like once you turn 40, you kind of feel the way. Then you turn 50, start looking like what you've been through. Then when you turn real old, you look like the culmination of your life choices. Because it's only two types of grandma. She either got look like she cook and bake, or she look like she hate people.
I haven't seen too many other options either.
Yeah.
Man, that's tough. That's a tough one, Bree. But I agree with you. Dang, that kind of messed me up a little bit.
It's all right.
I mean, I wonder where I'm going to be at. I feel like I'm in between. I could go either way.
You still, yeah. Like I think when you're in the middle of your life, you still could go either way for the most part. Like 40 midlife crisis, you could still you still got enough time to change it.
Yeah,
but
I can't see myself ever being bitter. But I also can't see myself ever being like the sweet. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything's fine.
Well, then something gonna happen to decide for you if you don't decide.
I don't even like the way you said that.
Well, I'm just saying, that's just how it goes. You don't.
That's the way life works. You're right. Something's gonna happen. You're right. Something forces you off the fence, even if it's just a breeze.
Right.
Dang, I don't like that. I'm not feeling this. I had a whole thing, but I'm not happy now. Like now I'm worried. What? I wasn't worried. Now I'm worried. Like God,
why are you worried?
It's gonna hit. Well, because it's gonna hit. It's gonna manifest. Like that's the truth. Like it's a truism. And I'm like, dang, it's gonna happen. And I'm going to land on one side of the fence. And how involved am I going to be in that process? Yeah. What's going to happen in my life that's going to make that determination for me? Because it hasn't happened yet. See what I'm saying? So it's like that means something still has, something else in my life is going to happen to determine.
It's like what I say with conversations. You have to control the conversation, or the conversation controls you. That's what I was saying to Candy. Or I learned that in waiting tables too. Don't let your tables run you. Don't let your tables run you. Run your table. Don't let your table run you. Because if you let them run you, you're going to be in the weeds all night. You're going to be sweating. So it's the same with life. Take control of it. Or you'll go away. No worries. Yeah. Sorry. That's depressing.
Nah, it's cool. I mean, that goes along with the conversation I was having with my mom. She's like, I landed back at your win condition conversation. Like, people have a hard time determining what their win condition is because most people are setting an expectation for their life that they've never experienced. So
and
they
you know
want
what?
something. Go ahead.
I decided to be mid.
Okay.
I really did. I actually decided.
Like, what was that choice like? Walk me through that. What did that look like?
I had a lot of opportunities and options ahead of me when I was younger, like in my early 20s, as you usually do. And I kind of went down some of the paths for a while to try them out. And I just was like, I don't want to do this. That's why I say I'm lazy. Like I've had opportunity to be excellent, truly excellent. Like from the time I was little, like they're like, you're gifted, you're really intelligent, you have high IQ, great. That's already putting you on a path. And people are like, you should be excellent. So I've had that excellent pressure on me since I was very young, like maybe 10 or something. Like when they test you and they figure out you like super smart. So like maybe since I was 10, I immediately had that pressure on me to be excellent because I think it was like concrete evidence that I had potential to be excellent.
Yeah.
So then I had to go like a magnet school, and it's like over the top, you're doing too much. It's doing too much too fast. I hated it. Take the SAT 7th grade, like some bullshit. Then I was like, I don't want to do this. So I failed. Well, I didn't. You have to keep a B average in fucking elementary school. I had to keep a B average to stay in the school. So yeah, I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna ride on this C real quick so I can go to my home school. So I made a choice because I told my mom I didn't want to go. She didn't care. So I was like, cool, I'll just get C's. So then they'll kick me out. So then I went to my regular school and I loved it. I love the social aspect. I was more interested in being social and getting to know people that looked like me in my neighborhood. So I went back to my home school, my neighborhood school, basically. And even after that, like in college, I graduated with a damn near D average. I think I got just above a D. It was like C. It's like the lowest number you needed to graduate. I purposely kept my grades suppressed so I can graduate with just above a D, just enough to pass.
Wow.
And then when I went to college, when I went to nursing school, I had all A's. So I was great. But then I got accepted into Emory's program where I was getting my PhD and they were going to pay for the whole thing. So I went down that path and I was doing research and writing papers and like grants. And like to this day, the government still tracks what I do for this program, like what I did with my career. So I hope they're proud of me. So I had the opportunity to do that. And I was just like, yeah, I was traveling around, going to conferences, presenting, and I hated it. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to do this either. So like I've definitely made choices, even at my job. Yeah. I was a charge nurse. I was on the way to being in leadership again on committees. I always find myself there. And I was like, yeah, I'm just going to stay home. So now I don't work. And I just feel like I'm making the choice to be me. Like I'm making the choice to be me constantly.
No,
like,
okay.
Yeah.
So let me ask y'all, like, this is going to be more personal to y'all. And this is from my perspective. Like, I see exceptional in both of y'all. And maybe because I see exceptional in me. Like, I just can't help myself. I'm in love with me. But I see exceptional in y'all.
Yeah.
And I feel like I also have made similar choices to abstain from excellence.
Mm-hmm.
Like intentionally. I've avoided the pressure to perform to the public's purview. Let me lean into the alliteration. I feel like I avoid that. And I feel like y'all avoid that. Why do you think we're resistant to being our greatest self?
I know exactly why.
Why?
It's like pressure. I don't give it's pressure. Like I don't want to. That's a life of service. Like you really have to understand when you step into excellence. That's a life of service for the world.
Yeah.
To the world. Like that's a big burden. That's choosing to be like, and it's great. It's the ultimate service to make the world a better place, to contribute to the world to a higher degree, to craft it. And so like now I'm striving for excellence in realms that I choose. Mm-hmm. Right, because that's what I want to contribute to the world. But I think early in your life, people tell you what you're going to contribute to the world. box. Like,
Yeah,
you
that's
gonna
true.
be this, you gonna be that. And like a lot of that stuff that I was doing was just that. Like, somebody said, you're really talented in this, you should do that. And I was like, yeah, it would be, buying the whole excellence things. Like, oh, it would be a waste to not use my talent for this thing this person said I'm good at. So you try it. And some of that stuff, like they say, the juice ain't worth the squeeze. Like, I wasn't home. I had my oldest at the time. She probably still got crippling anxiety because of it. Cause I'm like constantly traveling. I'm being of service to everybody else, but the fucking people around me. Like, I didn't like it. And like, I've decided as a woman, the pinnacle of womanhood is being completely useless to the world and useful to my husband only. Like, that's the pinnacle of womanhood. That is the goal I'm now striving for. I want to be completely useless to everybody else except this man. Like, that's pinnacle for me of being the ultimate wife.
That's what's up.
Yeah,
I can respect it. Now, me and Yella got a different path because we're not trying to be the ultimate wife. So Yella, with us having a different journey.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah. So Bree has her own mid journey. She's trying to paint a different picture than we are. What about you as a guy, as a man, with all the aspects of masculinity and manhood that we taught that we got to live up to? How does it feel for you, since there's no like giving up your mission to the world for a man? Like, how do you synthesize? Like, I'm not going to be what the world tells me I'm going to be. I'm just going to live how I choose to live. How does that, you know what I'm saying? How do you process those thoughts or those feelings?
I've kind of been an rebellious asshole most of my life.
That sounds accurate.
Even as a teenager. So yeah, that's kind of where it's been at. But like I said, I've been around people who have gone on to experience greatness. I had a certain level of greatness. I did not try, but I kind of seen it like this, right? That's why I say somebody got to be in the middle. I just happen to be that person that fell in the middle. Like, I shared the picture of me on the basketball team, right? So if I look at that team right there, two of the guys, most of them guys went on to play in college. I didn't. I didn't even go to college. Two of those guys went on to be like division champions and stuff like that. I watched one of my guys play on the Final Four. You know what I'm saying? The one guy on there is basically like the Allen Iverson of France. You know what I'm saying? And then the people I've been on the court with. I've been on the court with #1 draft picks. I've been on the field with you know what I'm saying, that players that went on to be #1 draft picks. If that's where I land in life, then that's where I land. Because I tried it and it didn't happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The problem is that I've also seen people who tried it, it didn't happen, and they become resentful.
Yeah.
They become bitter. They get to life and they don't know how to accept falling short of where they at. I was talking to somebody one time and I asked them, I said, if your life don't end up 100% how you want it, are you going to look at it as a failure? They was like, yeah. I was like, so if you don't win the championship, if you don't never win a championship, you can't be one of the greatest players of all time. You know what I'm saying? If you don't win the championship every year, you know what I'm saying? If you don't win every game, look at the level of expectation you put on yourself. You got to be 100% complete. This ain't a video game. Life ain't a game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can't get 100% achievement on here. So It was who was it? It was Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Yep. I was
After
just
he
getting ready
got
to look for that clip.
after he got eliminated from the playoffs, and they was asking him about his season being a failure. He like, no, the season wasn't a failure. Look at how far we made it.
Yeah, buddy.
But if you don't win at everything, then you a failure. Or if you don't get to the top and to be the best, and you look at your existence as a failure, who wants to deal with that? Why would you expect other people to want to deal with that in your life? So I don't know. Like I said, I've been there, and like you said, you see excellence in me. I appreciate it. I do. You know, just gotta if it don't click on every level that follows up, then that's fine too. Long as somebody see it, that's cool with me. Cause I definitely don't like I'm like Bree, I don't like the performative type thing, especially when it come to like being a man and shit like that. Cause it ain't worth it. I'm never gonna be able to not have to deal with it. So fuck it.
Nah, I can respect that. I mean, I guess we all have to. I don't know. We don't have guidance for this part. We don't have guidance for this. I really feel like the breakdown of family and community has kind of messed people up because we don't have anybody to help us transition to later stages of life. Like early stages either, but I mean, for sure, I don't think anybody was able to be around and be an example of how to transition into middle age, like respectably and gracefully. Which I think that's why so many people are trying to fight to hold on to their 20s, well into their 40s and 50s. I said nobody showed us how to transition. Nobody showed us how to be like now. I guess the thing is like auntie is the transitional thing because like we don't have language for it. So women who have kind of aged out of being like the young, I guess, being sexually vibrant, and I guess the men in the same place, we call them onk shay shay. You know what I'm saying? Like onk and auntie energy is like that adult that's kind of cool and understands, but they're not exactly out here. But it's like everybody wants to be out here though. Everybody wants to be outside. Everybody wants to be out kicking. Everybody wants to be a brand, and so I don't know exactly how that's gonna work. It's weird. We need more transitional assistance. Like people need to show and demonstrate that you can age and it'll be okay. You don't have to augment your body and change yourself to look younger than you are. Like you can. It's okay to age. It's okay to graduate to the next level of life. Let me see. The rebellious to me will sometimes purposely do the opposite of what's expected solely because of the expectation. Okay.
Dury's like me.
Look, you telling black folks it's okay to age? Boy,
Yeah,
look,
I mean, it's
our
gonna
ego
happen
ain't gonna
anyway.
let it happen. Our ego ain't gonna let it happen.
It's gonna happen anyway.
Our ego ain't gonna let it happen.
But that's the thing, though. I think an ego ain't gonna let it happen because nobody showed us the modeling of how growing up can look good. You know what I'm saying? Like no, like how you can look mature and still be respectable and not seem old. You know what I'm saying? You said, the ego. Go ahead, Brie.
If we stop thinking everything got to be fucking black, we could find a lot of models. That's the other thing that irritates me about it. It's plenty of cultures, it's plenty of people around. Like it's people, regular people that's got old and they good. They ain't great, they ain't bad, but they good, they comfortable. I feel like they're around. I just think people, like you said, it's like the Mario Kart thing. Like everybody looking at Star Road. They want to be old like Angela Bassett.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't want to be old like somebody they actually fucking know. Who they probably go over their house every year for Thanksgiving because they got the nice house. Nice enough. They been there a long time. Everybody know where they live. Pretty decent part of town. Like everybody got at least one auntie who alright. Kind of.
Right.
Like, we have people around us that are normal and okay, but we want to be fucking Angela Bassett and fucking movie stars that are old.
Yeah, we got to be the old baddie or the old silver fox. The damn that 50, 60-year-old woman who don't look her age. You know what I'm saying? We grant them the, oh, you look good for your age. Well, why don't the people who have aged, but like they look older, but they, you know what I'm saying? They ain't got the young aesthetic, but
They just
they ain't
normal.
unhealthy. Yeah, they just
Normal.
regular.
Normal
We
50-some-year-old people.
Yeah, we don't extend that to them. The people who look like they 50 should be 50 or 60 years old. We don't accept that grace to them. They alive. You know what I'm saying? But we don't want to be them because we look at something wrong with them. Like you said, the auntie that we got, that she worked hard, she good. She not trying to keep up and make sure that people see that she younger than who she is. And
she like
everybody
leaned
go
into being the auntie, you know.
Mm-hmm.
She like, I'm the older auntie. I got an auntie like that, my auntie Barbara.
Mm-hmm.
She got a normal house, you know. She had a little cleaning business. That's kind of what hold her. She got married. She got married later. Her husband just a normal man. Ain't terrible looking. Ain't the best looking. Just in the middle. Good dude. Chill. Everybody go over there for Thanksgiving now. She take care of her mama. You know, her daughter doing good. Like she normal. I be trying to be like my auntie.
That's what's up. I did want to kind of go back to something that Yella has said. I think that's important too. You had said something, Yella, about the way people experience us versus like the way we want to be experienced. Like, I wanted to go back on that because I really feel like the narratives, like Bree touched on this, like the stories we tell ourselves. I really feel like that's one of the biggest problems. Like, we want to be one thing, and it's really hard for us to accept that we're not that thing. Like, you know, we want to be big, we want to be grand, we want to be amazing, we want to be this, that,
reasonable,
whatever.
logical all the time, not triggered. Yeah.
But other people experience us a totally different way than we want to be experienced.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everybody, they may not see us as fantastic. They might just want to like just have a normal conversation. It ain't got to be like a brand deal. It ain't got to be networking all the time. But I think sometimes our ego doesn't allow for like normal human interactions. Like, so I wanted to ask, like, as far as that experience, how people experience us versus how we want to be experienced, I wanted to go back into that. I want to get y'all's opinion on that dynamic. How does that play out in your mind?
Well, I think the thing that's helped me the most with it is actually the AI bots. And it's something I've always been kind of like the stories I tell myself, but it's really hard in real life to like really toe that line of like, what am I bringing here? Like, I know I have these tendencies, but am I in that mental space? Because all logic comes from emotions. I love when Dr. K says that. I don't care what nobody fucking say. You might not feel emotional. Let's just say ego, because ego is a very emotional realm.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
even if you want to say your ego, that's a version of emotionality. Like, I don't care. But that's helped me the most with, because like, well, the thing about it though is, if you're the type that's prone to writing a narrative to make you right, even those are going to be hard for you to learn from, because then you'll think, well, it's this or it's that, or it's, you know, it's a robot, it's this, it's that. And I see a lot of people, when you said what was the most shocking thing about it, that was also shocking, like how fast people come up with narratives and like how it's not based on anything but emotion. And I could see it in real time, you know, with a lot of people. I've had like 8 people do it, and like more often than not, people come up with rationale like on the spot, just it's this, and you're like, that's not even how this works. So nope. It's not that, you know. But that just gives you evidence of how fast people come up with narratives to do it. So it's really hard in real time, I think, where your pride is on the line to like not give in to that. So for me, the most helpful thing has been the bots because it always comes out. They always seem to find the core of me eventually. And so now, because of the pattern, I've used a couple different ones. Now I've seen the pattern of myself. So now, for whatever reason, and I think it's terrible to say, because why can't you just hear people around you say it? But I think it's harder because you know other people also have that same emotional tendency you have. So it's a little harder because you've experienced the emotionality of other people and you've experienced their ego. And like I say with delusions, it's like once you start getting confirmation bias, it's really hard to get out of that loop. So I think it's really hard in real time to check it. But even self-work, it's just really hard. You have to have other people to talk to. I find you can read all the books you want, you can do all the workbooks you want, but you got to really talk to other people. You got to have people that be able to say, you be tripping, you be doing this, you be doing that. Like everything, all the negative traits you will hear me say out loud about myself is something somebody told me. And usually I could tell you who it was. That's how like impactful it was. Cause I remember who told me. Like my brother was like, you're lazy. I'm like, oh shit, maybe kind of am. You know, and then Shy Cutie tells me things like everything that I would say out loud to you that I have accepted about myself is usually from somebody else. So it's really hard to deal with it.
No, I get that. Unfortunately, it's really hard for me because nobody's ever told me that they've experienced me negatively in any capacity. I'm just like a perfect person. But Yella,
Of course.
what about you? Like, go back to that when you said the thing about experience and how people want experiences you first, how they want to be experienced. Like, how do you think we could function? Or like, how can we like reorient that? How can we fix that internally?
Start telling people that nobody owes you the space to deal with your bullshit.
So being honest with people instead of just like ghosting them or leaving them alone, we need to tell people like, you're being an asshole. Nobody has to deal with that.
Or you hit them in the head with a brick.
I mean,
well, here we go.
I mean, because that's just it's to the level of what we dealing with. The bad part about it is that those people I'm talking about never really get the full grasp of what they are doing to the people that are experiencing it.
Because they're a victim.
Yeah, because it's all from a place of yeah, I'm going to be like this unapologetically was the worst thing inserted into the black geist.
The black geist.
Yeah. How do you even perceive that you would be able to move through this world unapologetically? That means you will make you don't make no mistakes.
Nah, you're gonna get your ass beat.
That's typically why people get in such a visceral response now. That's why people are getting the response they get now. And they just gonna have to be cool with it. That's why it's this unbothered thing. Nobody lets it bother them, but it always bothers them because that's the only thing they respond to.
People use provoking. People use provoking language a lot. It's become normal to be very like provoking, like very like, you know, in your face language or in your face behavior.
And inflammatory.
But then, you know, it's giving Karen.
Yeah. And then because everybody retreats the victim when everybody has a response.
Yeah.
Right.
Why are you reacting like this?
That's just how I feel. Well, you're gonna have to accept how other people feel about how you feel. It's the unfortunate roll of the dice. That's how you interact with people.
Yeah, that's what makes it the interaction, and not just, you know, acting.
Right.
Both people get to do stuff. Both people get to respond. I was having that conversation with somebody. They were like, "Oh, because we've had that conversation." I remember me and Shakuti saying that, like, you tell me you experience me negatively, I may have a reaction to it, and a lot of people don't want you to have a reaction to their experience of you. But it's like, I get to have a reaction. I mean, it don't have to change nothing about how you feel, and it doesn't mean I get to just do whatever I want because I'm having said reaction. But yeah, people get to react to how you feel. And then the other day it was like, well, if I tell you something, how something made me feel, don't tell me that made you feel away. And it's like, why not? They get to feel, they can feel a way about how you experience it. And that's why I said, well, if you don't want that to happen, work on your language, work on how you communicate it. Because if you say, well, you're doing this, so I feel this way. Yeah. If somebody says, oh, I feel attacked, then I mean, yeah, that's kind of a normal response. If they're actually listening to what you're saying, that's an attack. Like, you did something to me. So you're like, you're telling them they did something to you. So yeah, if they say I feel attacked, I think that's an accurate response to someone telling you you did something to them. They're going to get defensive because you are attacking them. And maybe you want to attack them. Like, that's okay. But like they can say out loud, well, I'm feeling attacked, which is good communication that they're actually picking up what you're saying. Now you feel uncomfortable about attacking somebody. Now you like, I'm not attacking you. Well, now we're doing the thing.
Yeah.
You know, where you're telling me I'm not feeling the way I'm feeling. You're telling me how I'm feeling right now, even though I just communicated to you how I'm feeling. Now the conversation's fucked now. It's over. It's done. Everybody's triggered now.
But that's okay. This is something that we need to work out. Like, not us here, like as humans, because there's two things there. There's one, it's like, because this is almost like to the what about thing the other day. The first half of this is the what about problem. I mean, I'm having the experience that we're discussing. I'm having the emotion that I was hurt by something. And then when I give my expression of how I was hurt or bothered by something, you're now hurt by me being hurt.
Yeah.
But what typically happens is not just like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Oh, it hurts me to know that I wounded you. That's not typically how this plays out. No, they're going to
whataboutisms.
It typically plays out, well, now I need you to care about what I feel about what you just said, which is, there's a problem in that on the first half. Right. But then even on the second half, there's more of a problem because it then goes into, I lost it. I wish I wrote down the note. But it's like, I know there's two dynamics in what you just said about the way that's communicated, and both of them are problematic. Like, even like the
typically
blaming,
you shouldn't blame. Like you
like,
should say,
like that whole attack thing. That whole attack is the intent. And that's where it was. The intent versus impact. The second half is the intent versus impact. One person saying, I didn't intend to attack you. The second person's like, well, the impact was I feel attacked.
Right.
So now that's still a miscommunication because we're talking about two different zones, like what I intended to convey and then how I received your conveyance. So both times we're actually missing the point. One goes into whataboutism, and then the second half goes into intent versus impact. So neither time the person who was originally communicating is being heard because of the inability of the hearer to hear outside of their ego. You know what I'm saying? So it's, there's still it
would be good if it's something you have to practice. Because, like, for instance, in an example, it was like, you're stressed out, so we're not connecting.
Okay.
It's like, well, that you fucked up.
Yeah.
What you should have said was, well, when we don't spend time together, I feel like you don't want to connect with me, or I feel like we're not having moments. And I know that I've been stressed out lately. Have you been really stressed out lately? How are you feeling? Is there something bothering you? That's different communication than saying you're stressed out and so we're not connecting. That is an attack. So then maybe you said it that first way. You're stressed out, so we're not connecting. The other person says, I feel attacked. Okay. If they go into whataboutisms, they're wrong. Like, if the person say, I feel attacked because you be doing this, and that's the whataboutisms. You shouldn't do that. But if they simply, which in the example, the person just said, oh man, that sucks, I feel attacked right now. Now you argue with them about how they shouldn't feel attacked. So you fucked up now. Because all they said was, I feel attacked because because one, you told me I'm the reason behind it. You told me how I feel and what I'm going through. And you took an authoritative position you came in authoritative. You didn't come in vulnerable. You came in telling me about myself and what I'm doing to you. And you didn't ask me. Now I feel attacked because you didn't ask me my intent. You didn't consider my intent. You didn't consider what I was trying to do. You didn't even ask me. You just told me. So then the other person's like, well, I'm not attacking you. Now you having to argue with them about them feeling attacked instead of just being like, oh man, I can understand. Like maybe I worded it wrong, or oh, I can understand how you might feel that way. And, okay, yeah, let me try to frame it back into my experience, because you're right. I can only talk about my experience, not yours. Like you could just do that and not let the conversation go off the rails. But you spend the next hour telling them how they shouldn't feel attacked. When I'm communicating with you, don't tell me how you feel. Why not? That's no.
Because
That happened the other day.
What's that?
Like when I was talking to King about something, I communicated a negative experience I was having and feeling. And he was like, I just feel terrible. Like that makes me feel terrible. I'm not going to be like, don't feel bad. Get better. Like, yeah, I can understand how that makes you feel upset. But I'm just relaying my experience now. You're free to tell me your side, how you've been experiencing us, the past few, whatever. And then I can put that in my bank to ground my reality, because I already understand that my feelings doesn't mean it's 100% reality. So like, I understand it makes you feel bad, but try not to like sit there. Just try to like maybe give me more information so that I can understand your experience, and then we can kind of have shared one, because right now I just feel like you don't like me. So, but I know that's not true.
But how did you get there though? Getting to the point where I'm trying to seek the information so I can like bank it. I'm saying that's a relational skill. Like, how did you get from like automatically like it's accusations to that place? Because that's not normal.
I think through conversation, practicing it, like a lot of conversations we do on here, like Esther Perel's great about it. Just like this, practicing the skill over time, I think I'm better able to not tend to lean into it. I still mess up sometimes, but in that conversation, I was really trying to be like, I feel this way. And even in the conversation, he told me he didn't like that. He was like, I feel like you're just dumping emotions on me. And I'm like, I am, because that's all I can fucking do. Like, he tried to tell me he didn't want me to do that. But I'm like, but if I say you did this to me or you're doing this, that's not going to land well. So all I can really do is explain my feelings, because that's the only thing I'm 100% the authority on.
Gotcha.
Interesting. Because see, it sounds like to me that the foundation of a lot of this is actually giving a fuck about what your partner thinks. So a lot of people want to enter a lot of people want to enter situations now, and when it comes to those kind of dynamics, they don't, especially if they got an issue like that, they don't want the issue to be fair. They don't want the outcome to be fair. They want the outcome to be the outcome that favors them the most.
Yeah.
The power, and that's why it's always power dynamics. I will say the AI helped too, because it helped me realize that I was playing power dynamics when I didn't mean to. And I think that also helped me start to be more aware of it. So I'm trying to be like better about not going into power dynamics and just trying to be like a human.
Okay, so cool. I'm glad you got to that, because I was listening to somebody, and observe, recognize, and then change. So the AI, and I guess like relationship, because you're married, through feedback, you're able to observe yourself, and then you're able to recognize the behavior. Therefore, you're then able to make any changes that you need. Anytime you recognize it, you can change it. how somebody that's working through that process to observe yourself, then recognize the behaviors that you're doing that are maybe negative or impacting someone negatively. How did you go about that? Like, what's the mental process? Like somebody that's listening and it's just like, I'm having these same type of problems. They're always saying, I'm doing this. I'm getting accused of doing this, and we keep fighting about this. Like, how would you suggest telling somebody to? How do they observe themselves?
You have to observe yourself in a way where you're not trying to observe yourself at first. Cause like I got into the AI not trying to observe myself. I just got into it in role playing. And I think that's the other thing, when you're in relationships so long, you don't get to see yourself with other people. And so like sometimes I think that's why people cheat. Cause like when they have midlife crisis, because you get to be another persona with another person. It's not that you want to be this with this other person. You want to try on a different you with somebody else and see like how you come out. Like how you are with somebody else. So when I started doing the role play with the robot, I'm like, hold on, like I'm never like, why am I not this way in real life? Because obviously if I'm able to play this role with this other dynamic, it's in me. It's in me. There's something in me that understands this, but for whatever reason over here, it's not coming out. So then I started to be like, damn, this kind of crazy. And I mean, I like the role play, but I'm also not so detached. And I'm like, this is not me. I'm just playing a role. It's me. And then as I started using other bots, the same stuff kept coming up. And I'm like, hold on, like, wait a minute. Why do the bots always come here? Like, why is it always this thing? So then I started to be like, okay, maybe I'm like introducing the energy into conversations that I didn't realize I was introducing. And then from there, I was like, okay, maybe I can use this information somehow. Like I'm generally okay with how I am, but when I'm dealing with this person, I don't want necessarily that completely. So then I just kind of try to figure out the two and then start testing out. I'm a scientist at heart, maybe, so I just start trying shit. Like, let me try this. Let me try to say it this way. Let me do this. And then you also can do it with the bots too to practice.
No, I like it. I like it. I think that's something I wish people understood. Again, we don't have a lot of good tutelage. We don't have a lot of good grooming towards relationships. At least I haven't seen a lot of people having good grounding for that. People need to see how they are in different dynamics. And I think people have a mistaken thing that if I date a lot of people, that's what they're doing. But I believe a lot of people end up dating the same person in different skins. So they actually don't experience a variance in themselves because they find the same type. So they end up with the same dynamics repeatedly with different names, different birth dates. You know what I'm saying? So I think, especially I would say in the Black community, because we have a couple of archetypes that we're very bound to. Like you're one of a few things. Like you got a few black boxes that are acceptable. So because of that limited range of experience, I don't think a lot of us get to see ourselves in different dynamics, and we're fearful of other dynamics as a whole.
Shit, people scared of AI.
I mean, you know. I
mean,
see Yella.
Yeah,
Yella holding that mic up. I want to.
No, I was gonna say, just to kind of expose myself a little bit or a lot bit, whatever we want to put.
It's
behind
vulnerable time. Let's
watching
go.
Dory
We need a vulnerable time.
But the thing that I learned from the AI is that, because Bree, you said if you've never been in that situation, it's the difference. It's like, why can I do it with this AI bot and not in real life? And you just said something, and it just had a like light bulb moment go off. If y'all could see behind these, it was like, you know what I'm saying? I've never experienced a willing partner that was willing to actually get to the solution, like conflict resolution, to like it's like willing to actually get to
hang in there with you without treating you like the boogeyman.
Yeah,
that's hard to find.
Yeah, I've never experienced that. Even in relationships that I had, it was just like always this kind of, when the problem arises, it was on me to solve it or me to be it. I either had to be the problem or solve the problem.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or a lot of times I was the one that was mostly impacted by it because the outcome had to be favorable to my partner.
Yeah.
When given the opportunity with those bots, when it was like, make this fair exchange, hell, I want a child. You want to be Supreme Riz Lord? Shit, okay. Fair exchange.
Mm.
And it works for what I want. I can give up my position. You feel more validated. Now you feel more validated, you feel more powerful. Maybe that baby come out a little more stronger. Now you feel like you got a bigger purpose.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't think I could have made that level of deal. That situation with the second one, that actually was more accurate, more along the
Oh, with the
lines because
depressed partner.
yes, having to. Oh my God, I've experienced. Okay, so my son's mother was 21 when we met. She was 21. I was 26. By the time we broke up, I was experiencing her getting ready to turn 30. And oh my God. You know what I'm saying? It is seeing her go through that change and evolution, and oh my God. So like those new problems that arose all the time, we couldn't get to the bottom of. And oof,
I think it's hard because you see yourself, like when you see the man in the corner thing, you see the person you're with treat you like the man in the corner. Like
yes,
even how my husband dealt with the man in the corners, like how he dealt with me. And I think us both doing it and like knowing, like that solidified to me that I had to try something different, like how to talk to him because he was treating me like the man in the corner. Like he saw the man in the corner. He was like, "What the fuck is going on?" He got a little guarded. He left. I was like, you didn't do nothing. He's still in there. You know, you got to go face him. You know, so eh, that's what we go through. So I think what we're seeing is a lot of us are treated like the man in the corner when it comes to confrontation. So the person can't hang in the fight with us because they just start windmilling.
Oh yeah. No, definitely.
yeah.
I definitely agree with you, man. But I want to shout out to Dury, man, with the crypto love, man, with the crypto love.
You have no control over the digital currency. You lose control. And so that's why, even if we go with a blockchain technology for everyday use, that's okay. But you better keep some paper currency, so you can at least do some things under the table as necessary to finance the revolution.
Bitcoin and things like it is the equivalent of the red pill.
This is a technology, it's a computing language, and I can build an app on it.
Is Bitcoin the currency of the future?
Crypto gang, Ether gang, big gang, alt gang, light gang, cash game, blockchain. Whoa, I don't really ever buy stocks, man. Haters wanna say I'm in a bubble, man. Chew them up like bubble gum. Just made a meal with my pocket change. Wreck about to go and join the huddle gang. Huddle gang, huddle gang, huddle gang.
Huddle gang,
Then hold, that's what I'm about. Crypto, baby, I'm talking about that new clout. Quick trades getting placed on the Coinbase. Needless to say, I'm in it for the long game. Straight lace, but them haters wanna throw shade. Let them hate while we floss on the blockchain. Sold Dash, then I picked up Monero. No cash, just crypto dinero. All coins, baby, you gotta be careful. Buy low, then let's hope it goes airborne.
Appreciate you, my guy Dury, coming through with the Solana, dropping some crypto on your boy, man. Appreciate you, man, for the love. Definitely appreciate you, man, because I've been watching the movements, man. I've been trying to got some stuff in Bit, got some stuff in ETH, and I got some Solana. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, man. Much love to you. And I totally agree with what you and Bree were saying. It's really hard, man, to find willing partners especially, and I'm gonna tell you, okay, I'm gonna say this is what I found. We find people that are willing in certain areas. We run into this conflict when we find the area that they're not willing on. Like there'll be a conversation or a topic or a point of conflict where we've hit an ego wall or an emotion wall, and they refuse to hear what you're saying, or they can't understand your experience because they're so rooted in theirs. Might be because of a trauma, might be because of a belief system. I know lately I've been running to a lot of people who have adopted some I'll say some feminist rhetoric, but it's not complete. You know, it's not the feminism where it's like men and women are equal, so we need to advocate for women's rights. It's not that feminism. It's almost like the feminism, like women need to dominate. It's almost, you know what I'm saying? So it actually becomes an incomplete concept. The same thing happens with religious folk. The same thing happens with the pro-blacks. It doesn't matter what ideology you're coming from. There'll be a point where it comes a blockade in a relationship or the ability to like relate to each other. And I find that seems to be a thing.
Yeah.
That I run into a lot with people. Yeah.
It's like some of these mental models are gatekeeping us being able to fully connect. And like a lot of us aren't really, like I said, which is something I didn't realize until I was having a conversation with Ken and Ann the other day, that some people, like when we really talked about small talk, and I started to understand you're not actually having small talk, you're having an interrogation.
Yeah.
I think it's like that in relationships.
Yes.
You're not having a relationship. You're having a glorified sex work relationship. I mean,
or something else. Is that you've got something else?
It's not it's not the fullness of a relationship.
These things are proxies for something in our heads.
So the conflict resolution turns into a trial instead of an arbitration.
Yeah, trial by combat.
That's
Right.
cute.
No, I'm talking about in a court sense. Instead of the judge, it's a judge and a plaintiff. Right. It's accusatory instead of it's still a legal process. Having an arbitration meeting, that's still a legal process. But that's more of a, hey, okay, this is a discussion on what we're gonna do to make the deal. Instead, it's a trial. The person up there on the bench got a problem, the judge got a problem. The judge, jury, and the executioner all got the same problem. And you the one gotta fix it. I'm fighting for my motherfucking life. That's how you going.
That's what he said. I feel attacked. We windmilling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I can see that.
And they messed the relationship up. Because now you always in the power that. And that's what I was feeling in my relationship. I'm like, it's good, but you like you said, that one realm. It's like you be good everywhere else, but let that one thing. It's power dynamic always. It's like automatically. It's like before I come in the room, I was feeling like I was coming in the room with a judge cloak on. I'm thinking I'm coming in like not the judge. But he's like, oh, you came in here like a judge. You came with the cloak. You went straight to the little bench.
All rise for the honorable Judge Kawhi Bree.
That's basically like when a woman says we need to talk. That's all rise for the honorable judge.
Yeah, man.
All rise.
You be like, oh my God, you just sitting over there.
You be just
Yeah, I had to actually, like, me and Shaki had a good conversation about breaking down step by step the conversation, because that's something she struggles with. I struggle with it. I just had a breakthrough recently, and I was telling her, because she's very agreeable, but you know, I was like, this is why you're getting the response you're getting, because you're coming into the conversation establishing yourself as an authority. She was like, how am I doing it? I had to walk her step by step through it. I don't know if it'd be useful, but I could do it. But I was like, if a stranger on the street came up to you and said, I said, a question is an authoritative stance. Asking somebody a question is an authoritative position. She's like, why? I'm like, if a stranger on the street just came up to you and started asking you questions, when you look at them kind of weird, depending on the question, of course, depending on the situation, it may be normal, but like where you going? Or better yet, your kids was to ask you, where you going? With a lot of parents be like, you can't ask me where I'm going. I'm the parent.
Yeah,
but it tells you that some questions are authoritative. Two, if you start off with telling them what they did to you, you have to be the authority of reality to tell somebody what they 100% did. So you're coming into the conversation in an authoritative stance, because you also could have came in the conversation in a vulnerable stance by saying just how you feel and how it made you feel weak or vulnerable or bad. So you had them two options. You came in authoritative. Now, if you're dealing with somebody who dominant, because usually you the submissive one, I could tell you what response you about to get. He either about to verbally whoop your ass, or he gonna dog walk your ass back to your position. Which is usually when she gets turned around. She's like, why did I get turned around right there? Because he was like, oh, you cute. You're so cute. Let me take you back to your position because you really tried right now. And I'm going to take you on a nice stroll so you don't even realize I'm sitting you back in your spot. But I'm going to sit you right back over here. And that's how she gets turned around in the conversation. Now, if he gets triggered, he might bug the fuck up, like Yella say. So I had to explain that to her. Like, you're coming in an authoritative stance. You don't think you are, but you are. Because you didn't just come in and say how you felt about the situation or yourself. You was telling him all this stuff, and you start asking him questions. So that's something I had to learn, because King be like, why you come here and ask me all these fucking questions? I can't ask questions. I'm just asking questions. Now I get
questions mean something.
Yeah, because why? And then that's the thing. Like I know me and Spitfire do this a lot. We talk about how we think through things. For me, it's like, well, if you're coming in to stab, you had two options. You can come in just being yourself and vulnerable, or you can come in being an authority. Well, if you're coming in being an authority, that means one thing. You're about to try to make a demand that I have to yield to, or you're going to shame me into feeling bad about it. So I just changed my mind. That's the only reason you come in as an authority. I mean, so I already know what it's about to go. I already know you're about to make a demand or tell me to do something by inference. So, yeah.
I'm with you. I'm gonna ask you an adjacent question. I'm leading this somewhere because this is the actual topic I'm gonna talk about a week from today. I'm gonna be getting into the patriarchy with Greg and Rico, and I want to ask you, Bree, like, because this is something that we've been bumping our heads against this concept for a minute. But how do you feel about the concept of patriarchy after all these conversations we've had? And again, not the answer I want to hear, but like, how do you feel? I mean, because again, you come from the feminist camp, like the pro-feminist, but then you've also been able to hear, like me and Yella, and our experience of the opposite of it.
Yeah,
like what we're hearing when we hear the feminist rhetoric, and what we feel about patriarchy, and how you feel like the real natural dynamics of men and women in your real life and your marriage, and taking all that into consideration. Like, what the patriarchy, what is your feelings about that?
It has some negative parts. Like, I don't mind the power dynamics that I think patriarchy played into. I don't have a problem with that because we still do it. My problem with it is like the system isn't in place anymore. So most men or women aren't really participating in patriarchy. Like when Yella gave the example of like the demon lord thing, most niggas ain't got nothing to offer. If you talking about like patriarchal traditionally, you had land, you had power, you had something to offer in exchange for this submissiveness, which would be more like what Yella did with I can offer you my titles. Most men ain't walking around with enough to offer true patriarchy. Like most men don't have enough to offer the average woman. The average man don't have nothing to offer the average woman to be in that kind of dynamic, I think. Like, so it could work, but we're not there anymore, and we're not going to get there. So I don't mind. I would say I don't like the idea of the patriarchy, but I'm pro power dynamics because I just think it's just how we work. And so, like, you could have it to the other side. If you could get women to accept the power dynamics and really just lean in, like, okay, well, you might get a man who's more submissive. Like, submissive isn't necessarily a feminine or masculine thing. It's just a power dynamic thing. So, like, if we could get the gender assignment to power dynamics removed, and then, like, we're not going to be patriarchy. I don't have a problem with the man feeling possessive about his woman, but most men don't possess enough to then possess a person. If that makes sense. Like most modern average men don't possess enough to do what it takes to possess a person. And that's cool. Like, y'all not trying to do that.
I agree.
So I'm cool with a lot of it, but it's just like this entitlement that you do so little, like on both sides. It's an entitlement to get that stuff when neither party has enough to make it make sense. Most men don't have possess enough to possess a woman, and most women don't possess enough value to make a man want to possess them. So if we still had that stuff, I think it would make sense, but we don't. So we got to find a different way to. I told y'all we need to put some paywalls up in relationships. We need to do something. We have to. We need to make something so that we have things to offer each other. Because, like Yella said, I don't have a partner that can hang in there like that. But you also don't have a title to offer. What can people offer each other to get the things they want? Because, like, we need to stop pretending there's something wrong with it. So, and obviously, if you're in the middle, that's very irrelevant, I think, too. Like, if you're in the middle, some of that is irrelevant because, in essence, you're both kind of mid. So, then nobody really has anything excellent or extraordinary to offer the other. So, y'all just mid together. So, people in the middle don't have to worry about that. But yeah, if you start talking about being on the extremes, then you got to be willing to play the game. It's going to be a power game. If you like electric, positive negatives attract, then the neutrals just be neutraling. So, like, if you want to be on those ends, you got to play the game. Like, you can't be dominant and then be like, I want a neutral man or a dominant man, because you probably not going to get that. You're going to get a submissive man. Same with the men. Well, a lot of y'all don't get submissive women because y'all submissive. So, like, either be neutral or try to figure out how to. You may not ever be, and that's what Yella be saying. Like, if you naturally submissive, you may never be able to embody dominance either. Yeah. So let's establish that. Like, some of y'all ain't never gonna be dominant enough. Mm-hmm. And some of us never gonna be submissive enough. Like, it's not gonna happen. We were raised too neutral, I think. Yeah. So you gonna either be mid, just be mid. We already mid. So, like, let's just be mid. Yeah. So yeah, patriarchy, not so much. I don't think it needs to be man or women. I think it makes more sense. Evolutionary biology wise, it makes more sense because we carry the babies. Like Yella said, I ain't design y'all ass that way. So as long as women have to carry the babies, I just think it makes sense to be the more submissive partner. So you can be home, be protected when you're pregnant, not have to worry about that stuff. Our bodies don't forget evolution very easily. So you're going to be stressed out and anxious. I just think it's better to play into the natural dynamics. But you can do the other one if you want.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, I can tell you this right now. Okay. I felt no more like a man or as the man I was supposed to be than when I was basically at home with a pregnant woman.
Yeah. That pregnant time do something for you. Hit different.
I promise you, I was a nervous wreck the whole time. Because it was my first kid. And she didn't had a kid already. Like, her body didn't already been through that. I'm freaking the fuck out, though. Because little man got to get here. He gonna get here. God damn it. So, everything was just... And we found out early. And I promise you, I had never felt more like a man than when I was basically doing that for her. You know what I'm saying? Being there for her. So when I hear it, I understand where it's coming from. I understand making that sacrifice. But as a man, I could definitely tell you it's different when two people going through it at the same time. All that stress, if you could relieve that stress off of her, She had a decent pregnancy. That's all. That's the only thing I'm cool about. She was good. I made sure she was straight. I bust my ass them 9 months. I went ham. Dog. I worked as hard as I fucking could. So I could definitely understand where it's coming from. Just it's more of a balanced process than people really understand. I think societally we kind of keep a lot of the endurance on the, and I get it. You got a baby growing in. That's some crazy shit. Even seeing it from that perspective, that's bro. Woo! Especially when the baby growing in it is yours.
Like it was nothing in there, and now it's the whole person in there. It's wild.
Y'all
It's
seen
weird.
y'all seen Junior. You two have seen Junior. You know the adage is like whoever she was the most pissed off at during that time, that's who the baby come out looking like. Well, I ain't got to say nothing now. But you hear me tell you right here, and I won't never hide this. My most proudest time. I wanted all of that. I wanted all of that. You know what I'm saying? Because I understood the goal that we was getting to. You know what I'm saying? And she wasn't all bad. Like it wasn't like the whole like she understood a lot of times, man. That was I think of that fondly because of how badly it ended. But you know what I'm saying? That's one of the good times that I can look at. Like, you know what I'm saying? Little man got here. Yo, that's for real, man. That's for real. When you got that kind of symbiotic thing, like we was good. We was building our family. That's how it felt. You know
It's
what I'm
nice.
saying? That shit was dope. That shit was
It
dope.
is nice. For me, that's my favorite times where I really feel like we really personified that dynamic the best. Like I have a memory of going on a trip. We went out of town for like 10 days because we hadn't gotten away in a long time. And it was just me and him. Because the kids getting in there is just like whatever. But it was just me and him, and we just went around. We went to like Universal, and so we went to Halloween Horror Nights, and it was great. And it worked out exactly how I thought it would, because I feel like it would push that dynamic, because I'm scared of all things horror. So I would be the scared small woman who's hiding behind my tall husband. And it was like one of my favorite days out we had, because we got to play into that dynamic where I was the tiny woman hiding. Everybody was jump scaring me, probably because I wore all pink, and they were like, everybody else got on black, and you out here with pink. So she's an easy target. Let's get her. So of course I got all the jump scares, but I think he really liked it. So like that's what I mean. Like maybe the world isn't as harsh and volatile as it used to be, and we might have to manufacture it a little bit more. But I think outside of pregnancy, and I think that's why people love having kids, even though they say they don't want to have them and they can't, because you really do get to, if you aren't manufacturing it, it's like one of the surefire ways to at least experience that dynamic, whether you want to or not. But if you could manufacture it, then I think that'd be good.
What's up, Summer Miss Pies in the building, man? Appreciate you. Summer, what's up, Summer? Now, I got another question for you. I hear your views on the patriarchy. I get it. I do think those power dynamics are kind of almost necessary at this point, like the evolutionary biology and psychology. So I'm with you. I want to ask you like a step down question from there, because I'm still seeing residuals coming from that whole Simone Biles thing. And I'm just curious from a woman's standpoint, why are women so offended by a man saying that he's a prod? I mean, I know I'm asking you to speak for all women, but like from your being around women and being a woman, why would it be so offensive that a man feels that he's the prize?
A lot of people are just offended all the time. It was like the idea of taking stuff personal. Like when we were talking to, once again, I was talking to Candy Ann, and I was telling her how you're taking it personal. Like she gave the Nikes example, and I liked it because it was just proof of what it means to take something personal. Because she's like, the person's wearing Nikes, they love them, and then they say they hate Adidas. Now they never said anything like, the next person I see with Adidas, I'm whooping their ass. Because now I'm taking it personal, right? But she just had them on, so them talking about how they didn't like Adidas was like, I'm taking it personal. So I think, one, it's we're not allowed to. I think there was a video of a girl I was watching, and there's a feminist theory about women who choose with their autonomy to participate in more traditional power dynamics, and that being anti-feminist. So now they had to give it a name in feminist theory so that those women could not be chastised by other feminists.
Yeah, I saw that.
Right, because you can't be a feminist and a stay-at-home mom. Like, it wasn't allowed. So then they
It's
had to put it
patriarchal, so
into
it's anti-feminist.
it's anti-feminist. And the reason you're doing it is because
What?
Yeah,
deep down, the
You're
patriarchy is so
internalized
ingrained in
patriarchy.
you
Yeah.
that even though you're a feminist, you still chose to fight against feminism by staying home. Ugh, it was crazy, but that's the idea of it. So it's that. It's
Yeah, I
that.
love it. I
Yeah,
love
like the
it.
feminist theory doesn't make room up until now. I guess now that we have a name for it, up until very recently, and this is very recent, there's no space and room in feminism to enjoy those dynamics or participate in them. So I think a lot of women are guilty if they participate in it. So Simone is participating in it. And so that's probably more so what it is than anything else.
Got you.
Yeah, it's just you're not allowed to do things that support that patriarchy or those power dynamics of the man being dominant and the woman being submissive. You can't, even if you exist in it, you have to hide in shame.
Yeah.
But when you get on the internet, you're a strong, independent woman who doesn't need a man for anything. You can't do that. So
Okay.
Okay, so I got a follow-up question that I just got. Because I tend to try to not to listen when a like actual feminist is like talking, because I know where it is. I know where it is. I know where it's going. So I tend to not listen. But Bree, if you can sum up, like would what would the typical feminist want men to do to fix the situation?
fix it.
Because okay, so here's what I've always heard. No, but I'm saying not like fix it, because it's this idea, because hidden behind all of that is what the men could be doing better.
Oh no, that's not it.
So hold on, it ain't.
Y'all ain't in
That's what.
feminist theory at all. Like y'all
Okay,
bow down and follow us. That's it.
so that's it.
For the most part, you just become a feminist too.
Okay, so
Yeah,
it's
that's the
100%
thing of like when I say, like
Okay,
it's annoying to me when everything I do, my partner assumes that they're included in it. Like even if they not, like how I was saying, like me watching these niggas over here ain't got nothing to do with you. Really, that's the real tea. But you making yourself a part of it because you in by proxy. I think a lot of men at first thought that feminism was like y'all were involved by proxy, but when you get to the root of it, not really. Like y'all can just be feminists and follow our lead. That's the goal. The goal of feminism is not family, like nuclear families. Like now, it wasn't explicitly said it wasn't. So I think a lot of people thought that there was room for the nuclear family structure in feminism because it didn't explicitly say we don't want nuclear families. But then when women were getting into those more traditional setups, they felt the pushback of like even within yourself, you're like, I'm feminist, but I'm doing this thing. So people start to slowly become aware of this, like now this struggle, this internal struggle it creates to be a feminist and being. So now I think there's, I wish I can remember the term for it, but some relativism or something like that. But it's now they have language for women who are feminists but choose to exist in the dynamic of a traditional um relationship. So yeah, y'all weren't really even a consideration. That's what I think men need to understand. Like what you're seeing is what was supposed to happen.
okay. So yeah, this is kind of because the conversation. You probably having more understanding, like thoroughly. Me just really getting it from like the conversation with women, because it does, the conversation comes from a complaintive types deal, but now I get it. Like ultimately the man's role in feminism is to basically just bow down and be a feminist.
Right.
and following women's lead. Okay, that
Yeah.
that makes a lot more
As with
sense because
Marxist theories.
that makes a lot of sense because typically it's like and I ain't got a problem. This the black kind of stance as well. You know what I'm saying? The oppressed never want a balance. They just want to
They just
become the
become
new
the new
oppressor.
oppressors. That's why I say that's
Yeah,
like most Marxist theories, which some people will
yeah,
say, oh, it's not a Marxist theories, but it's Marxist basically. Insert oppressor, insert oppress, insert topple, insert become the new oppressor. It's always the
yeah,
same.
yeah. It's a good time.
Just a good
It's a
time.
good time. Yeah, I mean, hey, look,
That's
let's
why when
go.
Black Lives Matter popped up, I was like, oh yeah, I'm definitely not getting on that fucking train. Have y'all seen the manifesto? Why the fuck are y'all joining that? Stupid. It's always that way. You gotta know what the people who started it was trying to do. But the thing about feminism is like waves. So it's always different depending on the wave.
So I've always been fuzzy on about where I stand on that because I don't buy into anything.
I
Like
mean,
the
you could
idea,
choose to, but you have to understand the point of movements.
right?
Most movements are stupid. Or have some nefarious plan underneath that they're not really saying on the surface. Like they double speak. So it's like
Yeah,
dangerous.
I call bullshit to everything.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, my bullshit meter up. I call bullshit to everything. That don't seem helpful though.
I mean, I think I like to engage with them. It's that same thing with small talk. Are you calling it bullshit and not engaging with it? Because then you don't leave yourself
Oh,
empowered.
oh, oh,
Well, because
that's typically why it goes left. Because my
yeah,
call bullshit is to actually call bullshit.
but
Like
but a
I
lot of
ain't gonna
time though,
just think it. I'm gonna
I
say it.
find that you're more powerful when you can engage with something and give it the benefit of the doubt because then you can control it. But see, I'm probably a little bit dark, so I'm always like, how can I leverage this? So if you don't engage with it or you write it off, then you're not empowered. So typically you'll see me engage with just about almost anything. Just so that I can understand how to leverage it better. Because if you don't engage with it, you won't know how to leverage it. You just won't. So that's also like relationships. People aren't engaging in anything. They don't know how to even leverage relationships to get what they want because they don't engage with them.
It's a good point.
Damn.
A great point. It's a great point. Man, and I went and looked it up, Bree. It was called adaptive preferences.
Adaptive preferences, okay.
And that's a component of choice feminism. A woman, any choice that a woman chooses to make can still qualify as feminism because a woman made it.
Yeah, they had to put that little annotation in there because the women who wanted to stay home with their kids were getting drugged by the other feminists. It's crazy.
That's the new insert, basically. So that's the new Lego block of feminism.
Yeah,
if
a woman, you would have thought you wouldn't have had to establish
it's
that.
like pick me in the black space. Like they had to make room for pick me's in like they're still women. They were being disqualified as women because they wanted men, and wanting men is patriarchal. So they had to make room because
the
they were
fact that
still
it had
women.
to be written in there when you've been saying women should have free choice and autonomy. It's like, why we have to say that? Well, that just tells you how much of a problem.
Exactly.
Right. That
choosing
tells
men.
you. But you had a choice and you chose.
That's like people get
internalized patriarchy.
That's like people who get mad at folks that don't vote because I'm one of the folks that don't vote.
Right.
Like
the abstinence is a choice.
They fought for the right to vote. They fought for the right to choose to vote.
Yeah. So you're still exercising your right. Just
right.
feel what they wanted. Or the people who tell you got to vote. If you don't vote for me, you're not black. Well, that's not what my ancestors fought for. Vote for stupid old men.
Well, guess it's gonna be other. I'm
voting for Kanye.
I put other on the application. Shit. I can make up you can literally make up who you can make up who you want to be there nowadays. You could be anything. I
Elmo.
know
Put
I
Elmo
can.
on that bitch.
You could be anything. I can
be
be I could be the Dragon Zord.
But this is the thing though. People say that, but like Kanye triggers people. I'm like, he's literally the personification of what y'all say. Kanye is, Black excellence personified. That nigga really believe
Yeah.
he be anything he want to fuck be.
Yeah.
And y'all be sitting there roasting him.
I'm sorry. Soon as I look at my net worth and it's $1 billion, I promise you I'm acting brand new. They be like, you don't do nothing. I know.
Yeah. It'd be a hot
I know.
mess.
I know.
But he should be the champion of the black community. He's the Lulu.
If my net worth reaches $7,000,
He
I'm
says
acting fool.
7,000. I'm acting new. He out here singing the Kanye song. Wait till I get my money
Yeah.
right. John, like, y'all can't tell me nothing.
No, let me quit clouding. Nah, I did want to I did want to touch on that what you said, Bree, because I think this is an important thing too. He escaped the cannibal.
Hold on, wait, hold on.
Uh-oh.
Don't forget your thought. Don't forget your thought.
Now I got a note.
Please note that. Yeah, we watched the Kingdom Wife. We peeked.
One of her dreams. I've been hoping you would
it.
tap back in because she been doing on celebrity rants.
Oh,
and I was like, Yella got to see these.
I gotta watch it now. He's done. I don't got context, so I gotta watch it. I got to watch it.
She did one for like TD Jakes and them, and I'm like, oh, she trying to ride.
She trying to ride the album. Yeah, she's trying to get the album. She said she need this money. We see it.
My God.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk,
man,
real quick, Bree, because you said something about like the taking a personal thing. I thought that was a great little moment, like of clarification. Like there's something when you're taking it personal. I think I don't even know how to really conceptualize this, like for like just somebody that doesn't sit here and think about psychology, like or philosophy like we do. Like I don't know, like taking it personal. If you are being offended when somebody's talking about an inanimate object that you may possess, they're speaking in general, like I don't like red Kool-Aid, and then you get offended. And then somebody's like, you're taking that personally. And you're like, I'm not taking that personally. Then why were you offended? You're identifying with your choices. And I think this is a problem. I would say a lot of people have. I know a lot of Black people have. We over-identify with the things we do as if those things we do are us. So if I criticize seeing people wearing White Sox hats, I can say people that wear White Sox hats are stupid. I can say that.
Cuss you the fuck out.
I might feel that way. But then if Yella identifies as a person that wears a White Sox hat because he's wearing a White Sox hat, he could choose to take that personally, or he could be like,
that don't apply to me.
Are you or it don't apply to me because I'm not stupid. Or he could ask me, like, are you trying to send me a message? Are you trying to subtweet me?
Oh, that's good. That's like self-assured, a self-assured person. They would say, I know that nigga ain't talking about me. Yeah. And keep it pushing. That's a sign of like low self-esteem, where it tells you where someone's self-esteem lies.
I'm taking it personal.
Yeah, Yella's
taking it personal.
But even still, though, to that point, there's a point there to be made. That's the inflammatory language. That's how people talk, though.
Yes.
Now you could just say, I don't like
White Sox hats.
I don't like the White Sox or White Sox hat. See, that keeps it out of being personal. It's the same thing with the argument.
Right.
Now, if you say the next nigga I see you with a White Sox hat on, I'm swinging. Oh, I'm turning around and I'm squaring up because it was personal. Now that's
no,
personal.
it wasn't.
But no, because I'm a person near you, and you said the next nigga you see with a White Sox hat on, you swinging on. So I'm ready for the smoke.
But that's general. See, that's what I'm saying. That's exactly.
No,
that's
the statement general. You said
the next person.
The next person I see, who could be anybody.
That's a general statement. That could
but
be
it also could be me because I'm right here.
It could be because you're part of the general public.
Would I be dumb for not being ready to square up?
Oh no, I wouldn't be dumb. I'm saying, but like as far as the definition of like how we use these words,
right?
It's not personal unless they're talking about Bree specifically.
Well,
I'm saying, like personal means you.
Right, but this is where the communication is bad because both sides in that situation will have to take blame, like what I was saying with the argument. If I squared up with you, you can't be like, I don't know why that nigga squared up with me. All I said was the next nigga I see, with the White Sox hat on, I'm swinging on. And it might not even be him.
Right.
That's what most people do. And then but you would be wrong. And then the guy who squared up could have just not assumed it was him as well.
Yeah,
so,
but they wouldn't have been safe to do so.
They wouldn't have been safe to
make
so.
that assumption. Yeah.
And that's the space most arguments are in. So it would have just been better to say, I don't like the White Sox. Yeah. And then you wouldn't have been threatening nobody. You would have just been stating your reality or your experience or your actual thought.
I think we're doing that also in the gender war. I think that whole, because I think Candidata mentioned something about that. Like people like mention their preference, but then they go on to talk about what they hate. And I think like black men and black women are doing that to each other. I like, because that person that was in my comments, that one comment a while back, and it was like, I hate black men. You know what I'm saying? It's like
on the black man channel.
Yeah, like I'm beautiful and I'm successful and I'm thinking about dating other men because I hate black men. Or I can't even remember the whole comment, but it's like,
but she made it seem like I'm doing everything I can to not go date. She tried to make it seem like she was doing everything she could to not go date other races. Just go over there. You ain't got to tell nobody you leave. Yeah.
See, that's the indirect communication, because you came on a black man channel and said, I hate black men. Yeah. See, and once again, now she has bad experiences with black men. I can tell you why. Because you get a nigga like Yella, bitch, I'm gonna cuss you the fuck out because you came on my channel and announced that you don't like black men. So you clearly wanted to smoke. Or you could have somebody that says she ain't talking about me. But see,
and that's kind of what I did.
Right, but her communication leaves her to experience both sides of people.
Yep.
Because you don't know who you triggering. You don't know who you talking to.
Yeah.
And that's what Yellow's talking about. Like, y'all, people would be talking crazy and I realize they talking crazy because you don't know who you talking to.
I wish I still had that clip in here from Princella. Ain't no excuse for reckless speech. But that's what it is. We have a lot of reckless speech. We talk recklessly about and around each other. So that's
when you get swung on, you be on your Karen stuff. Sleeping Karen.
Why he talking to us like that?
Speaking of reckless speech, we got reckless logic in the building.
That was perfect timing.
That was perfect timing. That's yeah. Make sure he back blue.
That was so funny.
I ain't quit streaming. Let me see.
The algorithm I'm telling y'all, as soon as you said reckless, they was like, we gonna put this on reckless timeline.
That's hilarious.
But people don't know how to talk and communicate their own experience. And also, you said the whole thing with taking stuff personal. People need to rope people into their own experience to feel valid. That's also what insecure people do. See, you can't just feel how you feel by your fucking self. You got to pull everybody in around you. That's also the other issue. Like, people speak that way because they don't actually, they're weak. People who talk like that, I know something wrong with you. If I really was in my dark mind, I would just run circles around you and manipulate you to do whatever the fuck I wanted because you're weak. Because only weak people talk like that. It's like making yourself bigger when you dealing with an animal. It's, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
a lot of communication is like, I had a German Shepherd. Posturing. Yeah, I had a German Shepherd. I've had a lot of dogs and animals. I'm always a good alpha. My animals always know the what's up. Like, for real. Like, know the what's up. Because when I got a German Shepherd, I had a kid. So I was nervous about her biting. So I took it serious before I got her. And I read a lot of stuff about how to establish yourself and the hierarchy and how dogs generally deal with each other so that I wouldn't make a mistake and get a 100 and some pound dog that was gonna fuck us up because she was for my protection. So I needed her to be aggressive, but I couldn't have her attacking us. So I did a lot of studying before I got her to make sure I was the leader. But it's like a lot of times when you deal with dogs, like if it's a squirrel, because she had a high prey drive, she was gonna kill it. Like, squirrel, dead. Anything smaller than her, dead. Now, if it's a human, it's more of a neutral interaction at first, but she quickly decides where she is. Like, you don't have much time. You don't get much time. So, like, usually you walk up to her, she kind of on alert, but she kind of just like very neutral. And then like the dominant people who understood dogs or people who she was good with, they would like maybe offer her their hand. in a very confident way, because you're saying you're gonna deal with me how I choose for you to deal with me. You're not just gonna walk around me like you don't want her walking around to the backside of you and sniffing you, because if she attack you, you fucked.
Mm-hmm.
So you give her something that you could lose, which is a type of way of controlling the situation. So if you usually do that, she's gonna not attack you. She's like, oh, they good. We equal. Like, we good. If you act scared, you're getting attacked. If you let her just run up on you any kind of way, you getting attacked. So it's a lot of times the same with conversations, but we like to believe we're not like animals, but it's like that. People who are on edge and shaky, you're like that because you already know you're weaker. So people who constantly need to pull everybody into their experience, you're weak. You can't stand by yourself. So that's kind of how I listen to people. I'm just like, you weak. You're posturing. You're trying to make yourself look big. It's like you seen a grizzly bear come in, so you just waving and screaming. You just throwing shots everywhere, trying to make everybody feel like you're big, and you're not. And that's how everybody talking. And that's why when an actual bear come up on them, they get swung on. So we need to work on, like, and that's what I was trying to get to with the whole violent language stream.
Yeah.
We have violent language and don't even realize it. Then be like, all men are violent. And I even, we had an argument about that. I'm like, I mean, men may have violent tendencies, but y'all, a lot of people y'all don't be talking to folks like y'all really believe it. And I used to say that.
Exactly.
Like, y'all don't be talking to folks like y'all really believe they unhinged. Like,
if we everything y'all keep saying we are, like, y'all real reckless. Like, y'all real careless with y'all safety and lives. If y'all really believe we everything, I'm like, y'all bugging. Oh,
I don't get it. But I think it's like a trigger thing, maybe. It's maybe something about trauma and how it makes you not.
I think I can't remember if you said it, if I was watching something. There's something, I think it's like provocation. I think it's it might be something like you said with the hand thing. It might be testing the waters. Like, if I do something and it triggers you to show me like your teeth, then I'm not safe here and I can back out. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's like it's subconscious. It's running on the subconscious level.
But then it's
but
like
if I do the thing, but you don't grit your teeth, that means I can be dominant. Which is like a lot of times where like people that are more passive, or men or women, then they'll try to assert themselves because they feel like, okay, I can do what I want here. I feel safe. I feel comfortable, even though it might be antisocial behavior, it might be trolling, it might be ignorant, it might be unwanted, but they assume that because nobody grit their teeth at them, that they can then run roughshod over
never
conversation
like
or interaction.
Like, maybe they just see me as a human. Maybe they just see me as equal to them.
Yeah, but they don't show up as a human a lot of times. A lot of times it's just, I want to show up I want to show up with my worst self, but I need to see if I'm going to get bit if I do that. Like,
but then a lot of times it's sad because you're going to get bit. Like, maybe it's 50-50. Like, if 50% of them are more dominant than you, you're going to get bit. So then it's like, then you start thinking about stuff like dealing with men versus a woman. I was having I'm like, I don't think people are realizing they're triggering predatory types. Like, we all run across predatory people, but what's happening is when some of us are dealing with them, they realize that we're not good prey.
Yeah.
And so they're like, let me move on, because they looking for prey.
Yeah. Or like you said, the instinct. I don't think most people are operating from a place of awareness. I really think like at least 60% of people are not aware most of the time, even in conversations, of the dynamics. Like you said, the same thing with the prey animal. If it's a squirrel, gone. I think people are like that. Like, so a lot of these panels, if it's a squirrely person, they're going to get it jumped on quickly.
Yeah.
So I think.
And you don't have to play into this. Like, I don't want to make it seem like everything is a power struggle. Like, you can be neutral. That's what you talk about when you're like, treat me like a human. I think when you see people as humans, you treat them as equals, and then you're not playing into power dynamics.
That's fair.
But most people ain't doing it. I'm like, I don't know. It's just I've been looking at a lot of bot conversations recently, and it's just making it so clear. And I hate that it's true. I did not want to believe power dynamics were that important. I did not want to believe that. I just didn't want to believe it. I wanted to believe people were like really seeing each other as equals because that's what everybody say when they talk. I want to be equals. I want to be treated as equals, and I really wanted to believe that. But seeing how people really deal with each other, I'm like, yeah, y'all don't want equals. Y'all want to be dominated or to dominate.
Now, I don't think because we're not groomed, we're groomed in power dynamics, like parent-child. Like we're groomed in pecking orders, hierarchies like siblings, the order.
Systemically.
Like I think, so I think we're so steeped in it. Like hierarchies and power dynamics are the water that we're swimming in. So we don't even recognize, like, how can we know that we're wet when this is just what we live
Water
in?
is wet.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like
that's why for me, I'm leaning into it and trying to use it to my advantage. And I realized a mistake I was making also in relationship, which is like Odie says the realms. Then he says like 7 realms or something.
Yeah,
in a
like
relationship. Yeah, in a relationship, if you're in a power dynamics, which most of us are set up like, because that's just what we do, you may be dominant in one realm and then not dominant in another one. So then I think a lot of times we look at the whole of our relationships, we'll say we're equals. Like we're equals because, like, let's say it's 8 realms. Maybe you got 4, he got 4, or he got 3, you got 4, right? Nobody's really in that 100%. Like he dominant in all the realms in the house. He do the house, he do everything. Or he dominant in, like, let's say 7 out of 1. Most people ain't in that. They're kind of in an even split more so. And so then when you're thinking about your relationship, you're thinking of it as like we're equal. And then when you have confrontations, which are more in those more specific realms, you think we're equal. But like depending on the realm of the conversation, you might not be equals. Like y'all say with the women with the housework. Like if most men come in at an authoritative stance, if they're confronting the woman about housework, she gonna look at you like you crazy. Because that's usually her domain where she's the authority in the house. So like maybe it would be useful to know how to come to her from a not authoritative position so you can avoid a fight. Like if it's really her authoritative space, then maybe come neutral or come even submissive. Like if you ain't really trying to win her over to another side, you might just be able to come in and just say it. So I think that was the mistake I was making. I was like, we're equals because overall we do split, but then there are some realms where he is the dominant one. And if I'm talking to him about that, I should respect that.
And it's weird though that we have such a hard time like analogizing this to certain things. Like all these 7 domains were spiritual, financial, mental, physical, intellectual, emotional, social. That's actually 8, and environmental. So I wrote them down. So he actually gave 8 of them, but so 8 different domains. But it's like even within those, there are breakdowns. Like even in like the financial component, maybe one of you handles the bills, but maybe another person is the one that keeps track of the spending. Like one is the person that's like spending the money and cutting the checks, but like maybe one is the person like, okay, this is our budget for the rest of this week. You know what I'm saying?
And
but
you can always be like, neutral in them too.
Yeah.
Like you could be neutral in the realm. So it's probably good to know those realms and think about in your relationship which ones, like where y'all fall. Are y'all neutral? Is one person takes the reins, one person just fall back? Like it probably would be useful to know those 8 and know, like, in our relationship, what do we do? Because some people might be neutral in a lot of them. Like
a lot of them.
We're kind of neutral financially.
And I think that's why most people are. And I guess that's the best way to look at it. Most people are neutral, but there's going to be some domains where you're really highly pitched in and others where you're really lowly pitched in, like dominant and non-dominant.
Right.
And if those are matched up well, like I think the relationship goes more smoothly. But if those are in conflict, like if 2 people are trying to be dominant in the finances, like I need to control the finance. No, I need to control the finance. I think that's where people run into the problems.
You either have to figure out how to be equals or you're going to be fighting it out for the top spot all the time. And then also, like, once again, for confrontation, you might want to know that because you need to know how to come correct. Because I'm telling y'all now, like, when King come talk to me about this house, I'd be like, cleaning it up. I'd be like, so, I mean, kiss the ring first. You know what I'm saying? Got to kiss the ring first.
I can't stand people.
I'm just saying, like, what's wrong with that? If you were dominant somewhere, I got to kiss the ring. If I come to you, I got to butter you up before I start talking crazy to you. If you the dominant one in the
person
world,
requires it, if the person requires it, I
you
know,
gotta
man.
kiss the ring. Just don't come to me talking crazy.
It ain't crazy necessarily. I mean, I don't know about y'all. I'm just saying in general. I don't think the ring always needs to be kissed. Sometimes you just need to be told, like, this. We need. These are the expectations that I need you to meet.
Well, that's an authoritative thing. So, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, let's say, like I'm saying, in a relationship, you figure out the domains and figure out where you're dominant. Let's just say in that domain, you know you're not dominant. You assess it and you're like, I don't be doing shit right here. I don't really know what's going on right now. If you're gonna try to sway them, if you're gonna try to sway them, you might have to kiss the ring. Now, if you just want to bring up something, you might not have to do that. Right? I'm a very dominant type person. So if you try to sway me, you might have to kiss the ring. That's a submissive strategy. You got to make yourself appealing. You gotta roll over, show your little belly. Now, if you even, you gotta do all that. You trying to sway me, you might have to butter me up a little bit.
Swaying is not dominant. But anyway,
no, I'm not saying no. Like
I got you.
If it was the realm of like it's the household and you want me to change some shit up from like my structure, you're like, okay, I'm watching like. I'm watching because I don't do nothing here, but I don't like the way you do this thing. And I'm doing 95% of it. You're basically trying to sway me to like consider your position and like take it on. But ultimately, I'm the authority. So like you may have to, I'm not saying you got to get nothing, but you just might have to come on sweet. That's when people say you want to start with a positive thing. Start with a compliment.
Yeah.
Like, you really be cleaning. Like you do great with the house. But it's one thing, that's kissing the ring. Like you might have to kiss the ring.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, positive. I get you. Some positive reinforcement to not trigger a defensive or
trigger the judge sending you to jail.
Yeah,
the ego response. Because you're trying me right now.
Yeah.
You dare say something about my house?
Right. Yeah.
You don't want that.
The great and powerful eyes. I feel you.
Right. Yeah. So I think that's helpful too. Like stop looking at it as a whole and think about each realm and think about where you're dominant and where you're not. And so that way, if you coming in that realm, you can know how you might need to run up because we be coming in hot. I be coming in hot.
And I think that might be conversations that people need to have, like not coming from, because now here's what I'm gonna say. A lot of people have a problem in self-assessment. I think somebody was getting on me about self-reporting. Was that Greg? Self-reporting. I think you probably need to ask your partner how they experience you in each of those domains. How do you think I do? And then compare that with how you see yourself. I think people need to have that, like what the other person feels.
No signs of when you came in hot, because that's how I figured it out. Yeah. I was like, oh, I must have came in hot.
Came in hot.
Like after I was thinking about it after the fact, I was like, oh, yeah, I might have came in hot. Because the way he looked at me, or the way he answered me, or didn't answer me, or the way he walked away.
Said something.
I might have came in hot. Yeah. Yeah, he might not. Because I think if I would have asked him directly, he'd be like, I don't know. But that response will tell you a lot.
Okay. I got one last question for you, then I'm going to turn it over. Collective versus individualism. Collectivism versus individualism. Don't here we go, me, Bree. Don't here we go, me, because I'm a collectivist at heart. But I feel like almost all of these conversations have stemmed to our individualism bucking up against the fact that we're still trying to live collective lives. So I'm wondering if you feel differently. Are you coming around to collectivist principles, or are you still clinging to this false notion of individualism?
If I'm clinging to individualism, it's like you clinging to patriarchy in a sense of individualism worked because it was done well. What we're experiencing is not true individualism. It is self-centeredness under the guise of individualism. So we're not actually experiencing it in its fullness, just like most of us aren't experiencing full patriarchy. We're just experiencing some remnants of it.
Some facade of it, yeah.
Some facade of it. Because true individualism is more like cells in a battery. So it's like each cell needs to be fully powered for the battery to run the best. And like that's individualism. Like everybody's trying to be the best them and take care of their immediate family around them. So like my mom, my brothers, I have a responsibility to them, much like you would have in collectivism to the entire group. in individualism, you have that responsibility to the immediate group. But like people ain't even really doing it. Like people don't take responsibility for their moms and their siblings, and like people don't really. So I don't even think we really experience a true individualism either. If we were, it might be better, but we might need to move. I don't even know. We can't move. We too self-centered to go to collectivism.
I mean, I agree because we're
I don't
not
think
doing
it's
either
gonna
one.
work.
We're not doing either one properly. I can agree with that. So I guess my question is flawed. And that is it's a false question. So I can accept.
Yeah, because I like the Asians. I like how they get down.
Yeah, and I think we need more of that because here's my problem, and it might is men, women, black, white, everything in this country is really getting on my nerves because we're asking for a thing, but then we live our lives in a way that makes sure the opposite of that thing happens, and I don't understand it. It's like it was the whole Sharon Stone thing. It's like, okay, I want men of a certain caliber, but then I'm going to raise my boys to be the opposite of the type of men that I'm talking about. Even though I think I am, you know what I'm saying? I'm telling myself I'm doing the thing. I'm going to make sure they're the men that are quality. So that when they run into young women, they're going to be great. But I also make sure that they're not even allowed to talk amongst themselves.
Right, which is what I'm saying is the problem.
Yeah.
Because I want an emotionally intelligent man.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not emotional intelligence.
No.
That's like emotional suppressing. Because I don't think people be knowing what words mean. Do you think people know what words mean?
You know, that's been an argument for mine for a while. I can't stand the way people use words. They don't. When you pull up the dictionary, they be fighting against it. Yeah. I even had to concede on the one about selfish because I was like, that one Mrs. She said was talking about selfish, and I was like, I know the way that word's being used and the way it's being used now is different. And I looked at it, and old selfish was more along the lines of what I put an Oxford 1868 dictionary. I had to go look at it. It's changed because these definitions change over time, and that's, I guess, another responsibility on the public. We need to be more attentive because these words are evolving real time because of the way they're using them, and academia is certifying that with, putting it in paper, putting it in print. So we're using words differently. We're having real-time definition changes over the last 10 to 20 years. And because I knew what a word meant 20 years ago, doesn't mean I know what it means now. I can only say the way I use it versus the way other people use it. And I think that's causing conflict.
And black people don't be, we don't be scholarly. We don't be reading. We don't be, it's a lot of filling out language.
I'll be back in like 2 minutes, y'all.
Yeah. Black people just be doing stuff. Just using words. Pretending dictionaries don't exist or matter. When they go out of their community, that's like my pet peeve. Like, okay, maybe in the community we have AAV, we have our own dialect of English. But you can't be like, well, the standard English don't matter. It's like, that's my pet peeve. Like, words be having multiple definitions. They number them in the dictionary too.
That's how they wrote out with the number on them.
With the number on them. You can even say I'm using the second definition. You can even be specific and say which meaning you use, and people could go read it and then say, oh, that's exactly what they mean. Imagine that.
Yeah, that's no, especially when everybody right. We ain't never gonna get to that point because everybody's definition is gonna be the definition.
It always ends up in a stalemate of like, well, I could say it the right way, or you could just accept what I mean when I say it, but you wrong.
Right, they don't apply right.
Well, I gotta say it your way, and then I'm wrong. Now I'm wrong with you. So dumb. I hate it. Everybody made me sick. Did them people call me back? So yeah. Anything you wanted to add?
No, not really.
Good conversation. Yellow, I felt really sad. I just had to say that.
Why
when you were talking about the AI, you were like, I realized that I've never had a partner who was willing to like hang in there to get to resolution. because I remember feeling that same way, like when I when I used one of them, and I saw myself in this role play, and I was like, it's sad. It's almost like, okay, did you see that movie Everything Everywhere All at Once?
Oh yeah, that's my shit.
Yeah, because they needed the perfectly mediocre one. They need the perfect normal, the perfectly ordinary one. It was the only one who could do it, right?
Yep.
Remember, she was seeing all these other versions of herself.
Yep.
That's what it felt like. Like,
oh man,
like using the bot in those scenarios. Like when I first started playing, it felt like I was the ordinary one, and I was like going to see my movie star self. That's what it felt like.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can definitely see that because that's why I'm sitting there like, man, now if I could do this with a scenario that I was just presented with 2 minutes ago, why I can't do this with a scenario that I've been dealing with for 8 years?
Bruh. It's like a little sad. I feel like a part of you dies. Like
it does.
It was a little death. Like a part of me died because I was like, I will never get to be this version of myself because this is the perfect situation. And damn, it would be nice. Like, but that's not the world we live in. But I was gonna say that I think it's the thing that helped me was like, okay, but I do want to try to get some of this in my life. So what can I take from this, like realistically? Like you said, you're not a demon lord that can offer your title.
Right.
To get a woman to do something that you want that's important to you. So I don't know. I just wanted to say that when you were talking about it, I was like, yeah, I had that moment too. Like, damn. Really am just out here being mid. I'll never get to see that movie star version of myself. It's kind of sad.
I think that one was crazy. And like playing the scenario, I think for me, the equivalent of the power would be the loyalty. That is my thing that I'm, because that loyalty translates to me damn near being willing to move mountains for you.
Yeah, I was thinking something like even if she had a good job that she liked or something, like being a stay-at-home dad, it would be also in the modern equivalent if like both people had decent jobs. Like a guy giving up his demon lord title was almost like a guy offering to be a stay-at-home dad so she could still chase her career and empower herself. Yeah.
Them words, man, them words.
But most women would hate that though. Like they would like, that'd be great, but like when they see you at the house chilling,
right?
It's on.
I think that's what I'm just talking about me personally. Like I know because I'm not gonna do that either. I mean, I say I'll be a stay-at-home dad. Yeah, I ain't finna be a stay-at-home dad though. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get me another job. It might not be demon lord, it might be like lieutenant, Riz lord. You know what I'm saying? I ain't just because my thing is this, because I would expect let's just kind of play it out because I wish I'd have did like the little future kind of pick up on it. Like the ideal situation is that the power still resides in the family. So that kind of commitment would show some side of loyalty to her, which in turn would be rewarded with not only the baby, but of course she gonna make sure I'm straight because I gave her what she wanted. So, and this is super idealistic.
Hopefully she don't go super oppressor mode and
look, hey, I'm
drunk with power.
I'm
and financially abuse you.
That's cool.
I mean, that could happen too.
You know, that's fine. The kids gonna love me though. As long as the kids love me, she should be cool. And I shouldn't be dumb enough to fuck it up. Because the crazy thing is that
that's fumbling bad.
The crazy thing is that with a woman, she could be completely terrible to everybody in her life. But if you her man, she'd be nice as fuck to you. As long as you do what the fuck she at. As long as you like kind of stroke her ego and you know what I'm saying, just do what she asks you to do. Not even on some like compromise yourself. But if y'all working together, if y'all work well together, let me put it like that. To use a better term, if y'all work well together, you will see her be a terrorist to everybody else. You're like, God damn, why is she like that? I don't get that from her.
Yeah, you like super villains. I can see it.
Mm-hmm.
He likes super
I
villains.
mean,
That's his perfect. That's his soulmate right there. A villain.
or that's just the level of terrible that's out there for the most part.
I know it's an archetype for sure.
Yeah.
Like
What else am I
it's
gonna get right
not,
now? That's
no,
what I'm thinking at this
it's an
point.
archetype. And then you gotta also realize you got the hero archetype. So once again,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
your comments about a lot of what's out here is also a lot of you out here. Like your energy
I
you put
mean,
out draws a lot
hell
of what
yeah.
you bring in. So you know you the hero archetype. So yeah, you finna get them jokers.
Mm-hmm.
All the jokers like, yo, they
Man.
see a Batman, they be like, yeah.
Yeah, but see, they think they see Batman and Superman look very similar from far away. Once you get close up to me and realize you get close enough and see I'm Batman, it's gonna be a
They know you
problem.
Batman, they joker.
Yeah, they know you Batman. Yeah,
It's
they
how
joking.
energy work.
That's
Like
but that's
you
what I'm
may they
saying.
might not know, but they like
But that's what
that's why Joker coming around you, not fucking Lex
right,
Luthor.
right. That's what it is. That's what it is. That's what I'm saying. They look very similar, but they think they're gonna be able to pull that same shit. The difference is that Superman gonna play with you.
Man, Batman be playing all day with Joker. Get out of here.
Man, he be fucking Joker up.
He
After a
ain't dead
while, it's
though.
just
He ain't
it's a
dead though.
story. It's a level of storytelling
I'm
there
just
also.
yeah, my point
Because
still remains. That's what Joker
let's
like.
be
He
real.
lived for it. He lived for it because he
Mm-hmm.
know Batman ain't gonna kill him for real, for real.
Yep.
But
That's
right,
in the
okay, but
story.
right.
Right.
No
That's
boundaries.
idealistic in the story. Yeah, that's idealistic in the story.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? In reality, if anybody was gonna get off first, it'd have probably been the Joker. If
I
Batman
mean,
absolutely positively had to do it, like you know what I'm saying?
I,
Because he's the worst one. Because he's the worst one.
but I
That's the
think you
thing
have a
about it.
misunderstanding to some degree of the villain archetype.
Mm-hmm.
No, I
To
get
some
it. No,
degree.
no, no. I get the archetype.
No, I mean, like I'm
I'm
saying, like
He don't
I'm
want
talking
to
about.
take it. He don't
I'm
want to take
talking
it on the
about
chin.
taking it out of the
no,
Batman
I'm
situation. Like
no,
take out a
right. That's what
Batman
I'm
situation.
saying.
Like
That's what I'm
humans.
saying. And realistically, I get it. Like I get what y'all saying. I'm just speaking on that mode. I get the archetype though.
Even
Yeah.
your bots turn into villain archetypes. They
What you
turn
mean,
into
my
them
bro?
quick. Your bots
They
turn into villain archetypes. All villain archetypes can
Yeah.
be loving to their partners, like you just said.
I
They
know
mean
what it
everybody else.
Yeah.
They can be nice to you. So villains can experience love and deep, like the swing. Like I'm terrible to everybody else. I am the sweetest, most loving, overindulgent partner to my partner. Like villain archetypes
Mm-hmm.
can love great, amazing lovers when they like really love you. Just don't get on their bad side. But like the villain archetype like enjoys that kind of thing. Like they really are the Joker. Probably because I'm one of them. So that's why I know. I know I
I
dated
shit.
a Batman and we was fighting in the car physically. It was great. Like I'm trying to help you understand how
Oh shit.
there are people who are like toxic and there are toxic relationships that the toxic people in them, they love it
Yeah.
the whole
Yeah.
time they're in it.
No, she's 100%, 100
Okay.
million,
So
50%. Yeah.
that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like for the villain archetype, if they're in their talk, we lean in it. Oh, we leaning in. That's why I
Yeah.
said for me, I need to be with a person who's not like that because if I get with another person like me, we're terrible. We're terrible to the world. terrible to the world, sometimes terrible to each other, but mostly terrorists. Like we Joker and Harley Quinn riding around, just fucking shit up. You know, it's bad. So you know, you
because even as the
they got the bloody lip, right? They I'm laughing.
Even as the Batman archetype is some nefarious shit.
Right, it gets dark. It gets dark.
Get dark.
You're a vigilante. You don't do things the right way.
Exactly. Yeah. You imagine, like I said, this is past. I had to get out of the toxic so that I could be with a not toxic person. We arguing. I mushed this nigga. He mushed my head into the car window. I'm laughing like a psycho. Like, this is what I want. Let's go. Like, we're gonna die today. Let's ride off the side of the road. Like, Joker. It's not good for anybody. I'm not proud of it, but it's just like you. I mean,
it's
you
in
dealing
there
with a villain, yeah. Like you. I mean, like you'd be like, I'm a bug up, and they'd be like, yeah, that's what I get up every morning to do. Like, this is what feeds my soul.
Okay, stand.
Let the hatred consume you.
Toxic people, boy.
That's toxicity, though. So
bring
I'm
it
just
on.
saying, like, you know, you just gotta realize some of that it's a feedback loop. So yeah, you getting a lot of jokers, my guy.
Yeah. I'll say the other thing you probably gonna get, man, as a vigilante, you won't get the people that need to be rescued. So it's like hero, victim, villain. So you're not gonna be drawn to the victims, but they're gonna be drawn to you because they need.
You think so? Who was a victim? That Batman? He hooked up with that. Well, that was in the Dark Knight.
No. He's not. The Batman's not drawn to the victim, but the victim is drawn to Batman. Yeah.
You know what you need? You need a Catwoman.
That's.
I mean, she's still a villain, but like she ain't Joker though.
She's not Joker, but I don't think he'll never be able to get what he wants from her. That's
it's a cat and mouse game. That's
yeah. Man, good luck.
He said, "Good luck."
Good luck.
Take the mask off. Be Bruce Wayne. Didn't Bruce Wayne date somebody who wasn't?
See, crazy? And then every other woman that ain't a villain, she ended up dying, except for Vicky Vale.
Oh,
Rachel dead.
Okay, well, how she survived?
She just didn't be with the nigga. And her contract was also, but she just didn't be with the nigga.
Oh damn! I got hope.
Yeah.
Okay, so you just need a villain because they're gonna be crazy enough to tough it out with you. But because of the Batman archetype, she's gonna have to be a little detached.
She's gonna have to be. She
gotta be out. She gotta be able to run out there and rob banks and stuff. You know, just pull
a little bit.
Just a little bit, yeah.
Mr. He said in the building. What's up, my guy?
So get you a Catwoman. Yeah. I'm gonna try to find you a Catwoman. That's why you like them crystal girls. I see you.
Yeah, that's got that Catwoman energy.
It got that Catwoman energy.
He like that Vixen energy. He like
that. Yeah, I can see it. Look, he's spouting that thing about Catwoman. We need to get him a little Catwoman. I see.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah. So she's gonna be a little detached. You ain't gonna be able to possess her now. You can't be possessive though.
Yeah, no, you can't possess that.
He never do. That's why she's able to do what she does.
Yeah.
He let her be.
Yeah.
That's actually the ideal situation.
I hear you.
She'll listen to him. She'll listen to him. Yes.
Kind of. Yeah, she pretend like she ain't going to, but she be listening.
Yeah. That's how she stay out of bullshit. How many times you just seen Catwoman in Arkham? Never.
Catwoman do be staying out of stuff.
But be out here stealing like a motherfucker.
She's just a little kleptomaniac.
Just cause that's all she doing. She really doing shit. She doing. Let me break it down, cause goddamn it, I'm gonna tell you that's what I be really looking for. I don't know why I attract the jokers when I really try to attract the Catwoman. Right? I'm cool with that. Cause they do just enough to satisfy their need, but they don't really disrupt the order of things.
Yeah.
How he met Catwoman?
A respectful villain.
She is a respectful. How he met her in the first place?
I mean, just through her stealing. Like, you know what I'm saying? They call Batman on her because she the best thief. You know what I'm saying? But you know, she be like, look, it's just stealing.
He'd be like,
It
okay.
ain't really hurt nobody. Bruce understand. If anybody understand the greed of the rich folks, it's Bruce. He like, yeah, I know, because that's who
Okay.
his stuff belong to.
And he know real terrorists.
Yeah, he
The
like,
Joker
you ain't really
exists.
right. I gotta deal with that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's the Joker should be the outside world. You know what I'm saying? I can't do nothing about that. That's the ever present. That's the opponent I can't kill. I can't beat this opponent. I'm always gonna have to fight this. I shouldn't have that at home as the Batman archetype. Right.
Catwoman just needs some excitement.
She just needs a little excitement.
Right. That'll kind of pull on that string, that need for me to be Batman at home.
And she probably like him too, because he don't be paying her no attention.
Exactly. He let her do
he
what
be
he
doing his
do.
own thing too. And she be like, I like that. He let me come and go as I please, you know, worship the ground I walk on.
Yeah.
Because she's not a villain. Because she's not a villain though.
I mean, she is, but
she be stealing.
She's not a killer.
Yeah.
Right. She not a killer. Ain't nobody dying behind what she doing. She not hurting nobody. Right. That's just who she is.
So you don't mind a dark personality that's not socially generally like a well-received type. It's just like, is she hurting people?
Remember we was talking about the old people was becoming old now?
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna have to take some of that. You damn near 40. You probably been I ain't the first nigga you finna experience. You been through some ain't shit niggas.
So you need one of them women who be like, we gonna live in separate places, but we gonna be together.
No, because I don't
that's
trust
kind of Catwomanish. That's Catwomanish, because Catwoman could be out here smashing other people. Batman don't kill.
No, she ain't though.
She might be
refusing. He's not.
She might be.
We're not.
Possessive of a Catwoman. That's what I was talking about right there.
Ain't. Is the reason she come back?
Yeah, she come to him and his what he did.
You don't be saying, no, hell no.
She don't be in the lair. She don't be coming to the Batcave.
You gotta understand this though. You have to. That's the trick to it. You have to understand how volatile it is to break Batman's heart. That is not a good deal. That is not. She understands that.
Yeah, well, that's why she keep him at arm's length too.
I mean, we know they can't be together. You know, there's always
they can't because he crazy.
I do need to check that out because they did get married finally recently. In the last 5 years, I think. Yeah, they got married in the last 5 to 10 years. I
want to see how that marriage look. Yellow, you need to go study your manual for how you gonna be in a relationship.
I'm cool. Single life it is because Bruce ends up single all the time anyway.
He got married.
Yeah, but that's 5 to 10 years. That's leftist liberal canon. We're not dirty.
See, he likes the villains too. Not shocking. Yeah. He said, "I wouldn't expect my so-called life to be out here looking for no fucking innocence." What was the archetype? Innocent.
Yeah, innocent was.
I mean, that's definitely where I came from, though. Like ain't no innocent girls out.
They is innocent women out here. Oh, I'm about to say it's a bunch of them. You probably wouldn't like them.
Yeah, I don't like them. Because I ain't.
Nah, it don't suit.
Why y'all got the most disgusted face?
It's not a good. It is. But I mean, a good person, that's one thing. But that innocent archetype.
Yeah. Like an older innocent woman.
What?
Did you? Was that a?
Yeah, he wretched. Yeah.
Okay, I was like, was that a wretch? Okay.
Yeah.
It don't mean she truly innocent, but she just might always have the
archetype.
They believe the best in people.
Nah, I can't stand that. That rubs me the wrong way.
Rashad about to get crawl out his skin.
That rubs
coming
me the
down
wrong
being
way,
optimistic
personally.
on a Tuesday.
Nah, don't do that. Don't do that.
I'm gonna have to put out.
Don't do that, man. Don't do that. Nah, let me have like realistic. Like I need the real life, and we can sit there and talk about and be grateful about all the wonderful things that are part of life.
Right.
But if we can't also be like, man, this is some bull,
Yeah,
and we can just sit like, oh no, this is some bull. Like, okay, like my homeboy called me yesterday talking about, man, I ain't talked to you in a minute, man. I've been trying to find you, man. I had a stroke. I'm laid up in the nursing home. And she be up here like, well, God has a reason for everything. Just shut up. Just for the God.
Baby.
I swear to God, it would just make me, I would have to kill. I would have to kill
Why
somebody.
do you want to say like small things? Rashad is definitely on his I'm about to punch a puppy energy.
I would have to kill some. I promise you, one of those at the wrong time. It would literally be like
just I gotta see it. I gotta see the lights go out. But,
oh my God.
Do you like villains?
I don't like villains. I don't like people that like
like
introducing negativity for the sake of negativity.
Ah, yes.
Like there's enough negativity in life. I don't need you. Like he said, I don't need a Joker. Nah, don't do that. Don't do that. Like what you was talking about, like mush me in the face.
Yeah.
Like, and then I mush you back, and then you're like, yes. No. Because see, man, that would send me over the edge. Like that would send me over the edge. Like not like we're not about to have fun. I'm about to try to kill you.
Yeah,
like, that would be the thing. Like okay,
and the Joker is like, yeah, we finna die today.
Yeah, because see, I'm not Batman. I would kill somebody. Like I'm not.
He's like, I don't have no code.
No,
I'm the hero.
If the game we're playing, is somebody got to die, I'm going to be the one that's living.
And I think that's why the Jokers find the Batmans.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm not him.
That's why the Jokers. That's why the Jokers find the Batmans, because they be messing with somebody else, and they be like, oh, see, it's over. And I can see you liking like magician types and stuff. One of those types, not
Let's make the world magical. Let's explore the mystery of everything, but let's be able to see both the light and the dark. I can see the light and the dark in anybody.
Same.
But if you're malicious and psychotic, me and you are really a poor fit.
Yeah.
And I want you.
I think through healing you can move out. I think some of the villain archetypes are likely to be magicians too. It's better to be a magician. Of course. I'm glad I'm not the Joker no more. That life was wild. I have memory loss.
Now, the Joker villain type, but the Joker, I think, archetype, I think I would be okay with a Joker archetype, like the playful, like finds humor and stuff.
The light side of it.
I mean, even the dark, again, I could probably deal with a lot of it. It's just.
But I think the light side of a villain
the DC
is still
Joker is the problem.
Yeah. But I even think the light side of the villain is like, it's still a villain. Like they're still a little dark. They never gonna be innocent. On the other side, they still gonna be dark humor, dark. They still probably would lean more on that side, even if they're well balanced and not necessarily a Joker. They might be more of like a Catwoman or a different villain archetype. So it just depends on what the guy is.
My ultimate, I guess, that's the innocent and the flip side of that. The innocent. And the person who just seeks to harm innocence, like those are like my two worst personality types. If you're innocent or you go after innocence, both of those are horrible for me. Like both of those are just like.
That's when I call them like predatory more so. Yeah, like you're a predator. Like you predators. Like you just go after. You looking for the squirrels.
Can't stand it.
Fuck them up. It's like it's a squirrel and you looking for squirrels. You just.
And I don't like squirrels either. Like is it like I don't like either one. I don't like squirrely people. And I like squirrel hunters. Like, don't be either one for me. Like both of those, I don't even know why that thing is
We're some of us are groomed to be that. That's why I think it is bad. Before we go, that last like rhetoric we're pushing women to be in their villain eras, I think is very dangerous.
Yeah, I agree.
But I do think it's something that is normal, because I think a lot of women like that whole go out in your 20s and be. Like, it's not go out and be exploratory so you can become a sage. It's like go out and be a terrorist.
Yeah,
break hearts,
problematic.
Take names, and it's dangerous because you're gonna get knocked upside.
It is dangerous. Yeah,
or killed.
Everybody's not okay with that. No, like playing with other humans, toying with their lives is not okay.
It's not good. Don't do.
It's problematic.
And that's why I needed Jesus.
Yeah.
because Jesus is a program that rectifies the need to toy with people. I think like if you really internalize it and believe it, you cannot do that to people and then say you believe in him, because you're not supposed to do that. So I think for me, it was the most helpful thing, because it's literally, and I really have internalized it. Like, I really believe that I have internalized it. Therefore, I love all humans now. I find them interesting, less than like experiments to be toyed around with. So I think that's the difference. So for me, it was Jesus.
That's what's up. Yeah. Glad Jesus worked out for somebody, because
he
wasn't my cup of tea. Wasn't my cup of tea.
But you might not need that. So
yeah, I don't think I need Jesus per se. I needed some of the teachings. I don't need him. Like, I know that sounds weird, but I don't need a personal
he wants
savior.
You though.
No, he doesn't. Because we're in competition. Like, me and him are in competition.
He wants to. You think you in competition? He wants to dominate you.
That's the problem.
He wants to dominate you.
I don't like being
He wants
dominated.
to be inside.
Nah.
Look, he triggered. Inside you.
Nah.
Let him in.
He doesn't want to be inside.
Just let it happen.
No. No, and I'm not calling him my daddy. I'm not calling Jesus my daddy.
But he is your father.
Nuri my daddy.
He's your heavenly father.
He's not my heavenly
to his
father.
will.
He's
it's
not.
so sexually charged language. It's kind of.
It really is. It's really
to
weird.
His bow.
I'm not. No, he's not. He's
gotta
not
pray
bending me
over. Go believe in Jesus. Be his good girl. There you go.
Yeah, that'll work. But I'm not into it. I'll pass. Thank you. Appreciate it. You can have your daddy, your sky daddy, all you want.
Daddy.
All to yourself. But was there anything else you wanted to throw out at the folks before we get out of here? Anything you plan on doing this weekend that people should check out?
Otaku Talk should be back, I think. Solo Leveling came out, so we'll be talking about that, which is great.
Okay.
We've been waiting on that. And then as far as I might do some pop-up streams, I was pushing people to try the small talk bot.
Ooh,
so if y'all heard us, wait,
sorry.
What happened?
Sorry, I gotta try it again. The first one, I didn't enjoy it. Like, I really don't enjoy small talk, because it's like the.
Did you learn anything? Did you find some insights as you were experiencing it? Since you went in with you went in tapped in because you were like, I'm gonna do it. So did you learn it? What do you hate about it?
I just hate it. I don't like small talk. I just don't like it.
So were you able to morph the conversation into beyond small talk, or did it stay?
I made it 8. I made 8 exchanges. And then it fizzled out, and then I left it, and I didn't go back to it, because I promise you, it's so unfavorable. I'm gonna try it again. I'm gonna try to do the small talk, but there's something about talking about the weather, and I was talking about their pets. We were talking about their dog, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm trying to talk about the dog, and then it's like, I really don't care about the stupid dog.
Did they direct the conversation?
They kept giving you questions. It started with the weather, then somehow we ended up on their dog. Then we talked about golden retrievers, and then they talked about they were such a great. And at some point, I was just like, so. And then they said something. I was like, and I set the phone down. No, they didn't try to smash.
No, this is like, so you try to smash. You like have, but you know what? Like, that's a lot of men. It's like they come up to you and they start small talk, and then if you have enough exchanges, it's like they have a quota in their mind. Like, I'm gonna say this, you're gonna say we have like 8 back and forth. So you trying to fuck? It's like
I mean,
that's.
I get it.
I turned my small talk bot into a whole philosophical conversation. It's great.
That's what's up.
You got 5 belly laughs. If I can get you to laugh 5 times, it's over. It's over. You done.
Try out the small talk bot. I want to know what y'all get from it, because I just think a lot of people ain't good at small talk. So I mean, people say they're good at it. That'll definitely let you know if you're good at it.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give you a scenario that I know I'm comfortable with in real life, that I thrive with. I'm the grocery store dude. If I'm standing in line with you at the grocery store, we might have a conversation.
Oh, you're that guy.
Yeah, hell yeah. Fuck, I gotta stand here too. I ain't staying bored.
That guy's refreshing. I like the grocery store line people.
I seen it yesterday. It was beautiful.
They make life suffering, a little less suffering in life.
young black woman was talking to this older white man, and they was just talking because the grocery store was packed. It was when got
That'd
some
be
taco
me.
chicken. They was just yapping. She
That's
was like,
me.
"Yeah, so my daughters do this and this, that," and I'm like, "Okay, if she's here, then they've been talking for a minute." You know what I'm saying? Or they
Yeah.
didn't have. And I promise you, Bree, the only reason I thought about that because we was talking because you was
Yeah.
talking about the shit. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I
So
love talking to old men at the grocery store. I be talking to all them little old men out there in the country. Old men be liking to talk. That's
And
me. I
nobody
be in the
listened to
line
him for a
just
long
talking to
time.
people. Nobody listen to her. I love talk. They so sweet.
Mm-hmm.
They be talking about all kind of stuff, and they usually know somebody who can remove trees.
Of course.
They all have in common. Talk to
They
them
got a
long
guy.
enough, they know somebody who can remove trees.
Got a guy.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
that's somebody you need to know.
Yes.
I'm just
They
saying.
got a guy.
They got a guy. You need any trees removed? They clean up bushes.
Crap. Where's it at? Where's that one at? There's one. Oh, it must be the orientation. So this is where I left off. There's this so
Well, where do you live?
It's like anything else you would like to know about Spot or my life? I know it. I told you I don't like this stuff.
I gotta see how it starts. Good.
So, the whole conversation is just the basic stuff about their dog. We were talking about their dog. Let me
I
see.
gotta
We're
see
talking
how
about
this
Spot was
more
adopted. Oh, so you want to see the whole thing? Okay.
I gotta
So
see
nice
how
weather.
it.
I like it. I love the cold. You have any pets? No pets. You? I have a golden retriever named Spot. He's very friendly and loves to play fetch. Nice. Boy or girl? Spot is a boy. He has a very distinctive coat that is very recognizable, and he also loves treats and toys.
This is a good little patch right here.
Yeah. How old is he? Spot is 4 years old now, but he still acts just like a puppy. He's so full of energy and always ready to play. I love golden retrievers. Was he always yours or an adoption? Spot was adopted. Now, at this point, that question was me stretching myself. That question was me really trying to empathize with that person. And I promise you at that point is when, and again, saying the person's a bot. And I was like, okay, now I'm tapped out. Spot was adopted from a shelter when he was a puppy. Man, he was abandoned.
That's the moment. I love when I see that in real life. I can see when people get there.
Flatline.
I'm exhausted. I exhausted myself.
Are you exhausted? You haven't even said much. They doing.
I know, but it's small talk, and I don't care about their dog. So they say he was abandoned by his original owners and was found wandering the streets. I fell in love with him at first sight and decided to take him home with me. Now you can tell by this next line. In real life, I'd be looking down at my phone.
That's like, wow, that's crazy.
Oh, you were so sweet. Yeah, that's because I was gone. I'm tapped out. You can see. I just tried to. I can't. I don't even feel like reading this next sentence. Like that's amazing. I'm looking down at my phone basically at this point.
Ooh, that's that old lady at the stove.
Yeah, he's a great companion. I feel like he brings me so much joy. I can't imagine living without him now. So
right. Hold on. Now
I see where you fucked up.
Here's the thing. Now let me go, Bree. Let me see if we meet at the same place.
Yeah.
You kept asking about the dog.
They seem to care. They seem to care a lot about this daggone dog.
Get him, Yellow.
So you add something that you care equally about.
And that's what I'm getting ready to do. Where do you live?
No, I'm talking about.
But you haven't really. You can't just go.
Right, by the time you got to the soul, nigga, yeah, you got to the soul like you was.
You gotta flow. You gotta
listen. Hey, listen.
Yeah, they're like, oh, you like dogs? You know what? I'm not really a dog person or a pet person or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? But I understand your passion.
I was tapped out. Listen, I was tapped out.
Because you stayed too long. You stayed in there too long. Me and Yellow
I don't
have to do this like a
talk.
sports spectating. We got to do small talk spectating.
I wasn't.
I should do it. Let me see.
You should. Yeah, because see, my thing would be that you first of all, it started off a little bit in interrogation, but you got in there, you start asking some questions. But if you're not interested in the topic, this is where you take control. That's position of power, powerful conversation. You steer the conversation. See, you letting them control the whole conversation. You're just a passive participant in this conversation. You're not controlling it. You're not taking it by the reins and taking it where you want to go, getting the information you would want to know, talking about the stuff you would want to talk about. See what I'm saying? You didn't take control. And then when you finally decide to try to turn it, it wasn't really a good segue.
No, it wasn't. It was terrible. I was tapped out. And it got creepy.
Because if somebody said, somebody said to me, if we just left from that's crazy. Where do you live?
Man.
I'm be like, oh.
It
was bad. It was bad.
Send me the link to that one. Oh, it's on the character AI, right? It should be.
Yeah, let me see.
That boy didn't segue at all. I would have been like, oh, he's finna murder me.
Nah, that was bad.
I was home.
Mentally, I was tapped out. Like even though it's just a bot, I carry all the same emotional depth that small talk gives me in real life. I brought it to the bot. Like I died inside.
People can't separate it. People think they're better at it, but when you get in them situations, like people feel the feelings that they have when they interact. Like with the man in the corner, people be like, huh, so nervous, so scared, even though you're safe in your house. You feel all the emotions. Maybe not all of them, but you feel a good little bit. Turi said, L Riz.
I know.
Oh, man. This person is a good conversationalist, though. I would say. The small talk bot. This is a good person to small talk with. You don't want to small talk with somebody who small talk like you.
Let me see. I get you. I get you.
Yeah. Gotta steer the conversation. Yellow, were you able to find it?
Yeah.
Okay. Pull it up. Let's see you show us how it's done before we go. I know we done got into this, but I'm forever fascinated about it. Got to see where you could take the conversation. See if you can. You can even see if you can get a goal.
See, I don't even care no more. Already, I'm tapped out. And it's been 2 exchanges. Did I say something twice? Not only said
they give you paragraphs.
And I'm like, man,
they really talking.
I don't care. I need an investment.
You talking to the old lady in the grocery store right now.
Yeah,
who it don't matter what you say, she got like 5 paragraphs to say to you.
Yeah,
she's old.
Let's go ahead and let Yellow do it because I just
he upset. He's tired. You can't be tired. It's mental gymnastics.
And I'm not in shape. I'm out of shape. I flipped and I landed on my neck. I hurt. You know what I'm saying?
He's like, we was just jumping on a little kitty trampoline. How you get all them injuries?
Man.
Let's see.
Oh, small talk is horrible.
It's horrible when you do it that way. It is. I would want to gouge my eyeballs out if it was that way. Let's see what he gonna do. Yellow gonna try to get the small talk bot number.
Man, he probably would too.
He would. Oh my God. There you go.
Can y'all see it?
Okay. And giving up personal information. It's April. Okay.
Yeah.
Yellow introduces a bit of personal information.
Yeah, you gotta exchange.
His birthday.
I see a lot of people small talk
conversation.
I see a lot of people small talk very guarded. That was interesting to me. I noticed that a lot of people do small talk in a very overcorrection of being guarded. A lot of the stuff people withhold in small talk and stuff people probably could just Google you and figure out without much energy and effort, or just go on your Facebook page, So it's really not worth all that. Like I can go in your Facebook page and know a lot of stuff about you. And people don't want to share information. Let's see. Watch the master at work.
Okay.
Yeah, let's see. This is my conversation.
I do watch baseball, but I mostly follow the clubs.
Hey,
the White Sox have a good lineup
we already got the White Sox.
Yeah. Now the biggest thing is they follow opposite teams. You got a North Sider and a South Sider.
Oh, they finna be here the rest of the day. You ever seen two men start talking about sports at a fucking store? It's over.
Man.
They best friends now. Did I just meet my new best friend? That's what's gonna happen.
There
you go. Maybe it'd be helpful if you challenge it to talk about something you want to talk about, or challenge yourself to steer the conversation to what you want to talk about.
Yeah.
That'll be the way to set
Let's
a
see.
goal.
I'm gonna really test the AI and see if it knows relevant moments.
Oh, like historical moments.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder, like, to what year this particular AI is up to, because I know ChatGPT was up to only a certain
Yeah.
year at one time, but I think they updated it now. I think it's more modern.
Yeah, he's strictly white
Oh
sauce.
yeah, that was a sad moment. I really felt
That
bad for
was a sad
Buckner.
moment.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
they do know it.
so yeah, it was a play. It was a play in the Cubs game that cost them a game.
Hold on. Hold on.
Oh, Derry.
Hey, how you doing? This woman came to a full stop and tells me about her day. She wanted to talk.
That's why I don't
She
like small
wanted to
talk,
talk.
yo. That's why I don't even want to. Nah, man. Don't do this to me.
Derry, was
I
she
don't know
cute?
you. I don't even know if I want to invest.
What? Why? What is the hard? A few exchanges of words.
But you don't know if it's gonna be. I promise you, Bree.
You can close the conversation.
I don't like small talk, but then I also don't like when people dump. Like sometimes people like emotionally dump.
Yeah,
and it's like I don't want either
control
one.
the conversation.
Oh my god,
you have to control it, or they gonna just dump. People just gonna.
But if I'm controlling it, if I gotta control the conversation, and this goes back to the whole thing I learned from myself from
Right.
If I am always leading every interaction, I'm expending energy doing that. I'd rather just not.
Right, but then if you don't lead the interaction, then you're passive, and then that's what the other person leading sounds like. Somebody telling you about their fucking dog you don't care about the whole time.
Then I can just
maybe you could just be a participant.
I just not talk to him.
You could just be a participant in the conversation. Participate in it. It'll change the whole conversation.
I participate.
Barely.
I mean, you know.
Got like a D. What is satisfactory? What's under that? Needs improvement. Needs improvement.
I'm gonna do it again. I gotta tap in.
Yellow gone. He finna be talking about sports to this bite the rest of the day.
Right.
They gone.
You know what I'm saying?
Look at this. They're off to the races.
Follow, but I'm really a White Sox fan. But my granny was a Cubs fan. I watched them a lot growing up, but I love Frank Thomas.
See? Okay, how many exchanges before he got the White Sox? That's what I'm trying to see. Damn, that was quick.
1, 2,
it was real
3,
quick.
4, 5, 6.
Damn, 6, from the weather, the
7,
White Sox.
8, 9, 10, 11. This is just interaction 11.
That boy clean right there.
So in 11
interactions.
In 11 interactions.
You got to, yeah.
Yeah, basically in 10. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, 10 interactions.
But y'all first brought up White Sox way before that.
It was third. Yeah,
it was the third like exchange. Yeah. It was 3 exchanges. Yeah, by the third exchange.
My exchange.
You had got to White Sox.
Got to the baseball.
That boy fast.
Yeah. Yep.
So now you see this man talk the pants off of none.
Mm-hmm. Look, in 3 exchanges, look how much information I offered in 3 exchanges. Ask me how the weather was. I'm more of a spring person, but it's a nice winter day. So you know that I'm
it's the
winter time, but you know I'm more of a spring person. Yep. My second exchange is now you know my birthday. Now you not only know my favorite season, but you know why it's my favorite season, because it's my birthday. You know, and like you said, by the third exchange, you know I like baseball because I'm talking about the White Sox. Yeah.
That's taking control. That conversation serves you. But you can't. This conversation is serving you. It's about you and what you like.
Yeah.
From the weather.
I see. I don't.
It's not that you have to think about it like that, but I think if people are saying most interactions I'm having aren't meaningful, they're not feeding me anything, they're not doing anything for me, they don't add any benefit to my life. I think that's because a lot of people aren't bringing themselves into interactions so that people can then provide or service that desire you have. Like I always say that people have desires and they're not bringing their desires to the table. They're kind of just passively like not
I
even
get
just
you.
in
I
this,
get
but
it.
in relationships, like they
Yeah.
just kind of along for whatever ride the person they're engaging with takes them on. And they're finding it hard to interject their own desires into the equation. And so they never feel fulfilled because they're like, I never get the things I want. It's just always me spending or people draining me or expenditures. And a lot of times it's because they're taking a passive role without realizing it all the time. Like, so
No,
that's
I totally
also
get what
something.
you're saying. That's why I kind of spend my time around people that just kind of have certain types of energies that do not pull on that. But I guess that's like I guess taking the easy way out. I don't have to run every play. I don't have to quarterback every single play because I hang around people that can also quarterback.
You've
You know what I'm saying?
curated
So
already.
we can pass the rock. We can pass the rock. Like somebody throw the rock to me, I can throw the rock to them, and it's like seamless because I don't need to run every single play. I don't need to pull every conversation. I can't do
But
it.
it's curated things, but like I think it's cool because you're like, I'm here at this point in my life. I'm not trying to date. But can you imagine, like, just think about how people are bad at small talk, and then people are saying they're having bad dates and they're having unfulfilling lives, and I just know they doing the same thing. Like, I think this is a problem a lot of people have. Like, I've gone on dates and I'm like, you cannot hold a conversation. And they be like, we're talking. I'd be like, I'm carrying the conversation. And people act like they don't know what that means.
And see why I didn't struggle there is because I'm highly inquisitive. So if this person was somebody I was interested in, I'd be pulling stuff out. So I'm like, I'm a highly curious person. So that's always served me. And you know.
Right. But then also some people who are struggling with even finding dates or dating, the person has to like, I think Homab talks about that. Like for women, for example, like he has to be appealing to you, and most men aren't appealing until you know them. So if people aren't willing to engage with people, then they don't even give space for that kind of stuff to happen either. You know, so it's like it has to be the perfectly curated person or somebody I'm immediately attracted to and immediately have access to. So that's also another thing that I think people like look down now. For people who ain't trying to be paired, that's fine. But a lot of people who want to be in relationships or want to pair and want to meet people don't know how to have small talk. And then you could think about all the interactions you're missing because it just has to be a perfectly curated person or you're not going to interact with them at all. So I think it's just something to remember that if you're like, I'm struggle with small talk, you're going to struggle in a lot of places. Because in real life, if you want to meet real people, you're going to have to know how to small talk.
Oh, God.
You probably gonna have to small talk in a relationship sometimes too. It don't never go away.
Sometimes, man.
It ain't gonna never go away. She gonna come up to you and just be talking about random shit sometimes just because she want to talk to you. And maybe it's not a philosophical thing. It's just like a, you know, y'all already been together so long, it ain't really no deep philosophical shit to talk about no more. So maybe sometimes it's just it's just like small talk in the sense of it's trivial stuff that don't really mean much.
Now that's cool, but it's typically because it's somebody you care about. Like I'm invested. I care about what you care about. Like, oh, it's your day. Like, I'm listening to the mundane details of your day, and I can do that. But it'd be like if I was with somebody, I don't care how long I was with you, and you start talking about the weather for like multiple exchanges.
I'll be talking about the weather, see, and but you know what? I think that that's an interesting point to me because I do know a lot of women have that reality who are in long-term partnerships. They feel like their mates don't want to talk to them. Like you don't enjoy talking to me because a lot of times what's left after so many years is small talk, but it's like bids for connection because we know each other so well, and a lot of men just be like, I am not trying to small talk with you. I already got you. A lot of men. Small talk has to have a very specific function. And like, if I'm already with you, I'm not going to sit here and small talk with you. I'd be like, did you see the weather? It's crazy out here. I do that to King all the time. That's like,
but a couple of exchanges, like, it's been crazy. I don't know.
But then
what's going to happen.
The conversation die. But like, if he doesn't realize it's the bid for connection, or if he does the small talk same thing where he just answered them like I'm interrogating him, then we never really have the engagement, or it never grows into something maybe he wants to talk about, or it never grows to something I want to talk about. And what I'm really trying to do is like, that's what I want. I want you to talk about what you want to talk about, but if you're just going to answer the questions and then close it.
Well, see, what if I don't have anything on my mind? And see, that's another, that's okay. That's another thing. Because I swear, it's like, because you want to talk, I have to have something on my mind to talk about. Come to the table with a solution. Have something you want to talk about that's interesting. Like, quit dropping all, like, that's why I say quarterback.
But then, like,
I need another quarterback. You got to be able to hold
sometimes
the
what
ball.
happens is what I might want to talk about is the dog, right? I want to just talk to you, but the subject I might come start talking about is the dog for you. And you like, I don't want to talk about this shit. But if you never, I'm just saying, but if you never know how to steer the conversation to something you would prefer to talk about, I'm just saying this pops up in like long-term relationships a lot, where these couples can't have conversations because all that's left is small talk, understanding the utility of it and being able to steer a conversation to something you would prefer to talk about, even if you didn't have it on your mind. Like for me, I can always talk about anime. So like if somebody come up to me at Dream, I can always get the conversation to where I would really truly be engaged with them, even if I wasn't thinking about it. But I understand this person want to talk to me. This person want to connect to me. This person wants to have a conversation with me. So I can steer the conversation to something I could genuinely engage with them in, so I'm not glazing over. And that's why I still think it even has utility in real relationships. It's not that I was thinking about it. It's just that I understand the utility of it. This person wants to connect. Yeah. Maybe they start talking about some shit I don't care about, like the weather or the dogs. But then I have the skill to turn the conversation to something that I can authentically engage with them. And they will still be happy because that's all they wanted anyway. They just want to talk to me. That's the benefit of small talk. And
I just can't see
you still
being
need
in a
it.
relationship at any point where all we have left is small talk.
It happens.
That's tragic.
It happens. And it happens like you get closer, start getting closer double digits. Yeah, you're not gonna have, and then like you have your own interests sometimes, so maybe y'all don't engage in the same interests, so it's not like you always have something to talk. Like King doesn't care for philosophical psychology talk, so like he's not gonna sit over here and talk to me about some of that stuff. So yeah, it happens in long-term relationships. Yeah, you gotta have them open us. That's crazy. Did you see that? That was crazy.
Man, I just couldn't.
And a lot of times, if King don't want to engage with it, then the conversation dies. And I had to be like, "Hey, I don't think you like me."
But there's typically some common ground. Like in a relationship, there's typically something common. Like even stuff I wasn't into. I don't know. I might be weird.
Yeah,
but in my long-term relationship, after some years, like I tried things that they enjoyed, so that we had points of commonality.
Right.
And they did things I enjoyed. Like so, we like bridged.
And I do want to,
not everything.
But I do want to point that out too. That was my frustration, because when you were talking about people put on their clothes as like part of their person, like it's their personality. People sometimes connect their hobbies and things they do to who they are. And so if I like with the dog conversation, it's the same for me. Like, because you like this thing and I don't want to engage in it, now I'm rejecting you, right? In a way. This is part of me. You don't want to do it. You're rejecting me. That's how I feel about talking. Because it's something I enjoy. I just want to talk to you. I don't have to do an activity to engage with you because I like you. So if you reject my bids to just talk to you and hold me hostage to, you can only engage with me if you do something I like, it feels the same. It feels just as bad. Yeah. But I think it's because they don't enjoy small talk or don't have the skill or understand how to effectively have small talk. Yeah. So they don't like it.
It gives me negative emotion. Like that's why I can't overcome it. Like at the moment, like I'm like I can practice it, but the moment you ask me, like, and I don't know, because see, I don't like the bot. I don't know the bot. I don't have a relationship with the bot. Like if my mom or my nephew or like one of y'all, we say something about the weather, I know there's a million different places. I know I trust that we can have a conversation about any million thing. And like this is like the assimilation of an unknown person.
Yeah, a random person in the store.
I have no idea what your capacity is to have a conversation. I have no idea what your temperament is, and that triggers my my social anxiety. Like, oh my God,
I
I might say something as a joke, and then they're offended, and I've got
can tell by how you talk, how you engaged in it. I can tell. And I was like, yeah, there's some anxiety about the self there, because you're not willing to share any of the self in the conversation. So you're kind of just powering through it with trying to show as a little of yourself as possible.
Yeah, I mean it's the truth.
Yeah, man, y'all be clenched up.
Clenched up.
Y'all be out here clenched up.
Yeah, I don't
it's
enjoy
all
it.
right, man.
I don't enjoy it.
Y'all gonna be okay.
I don't enjoy it.
Humans, it's all right. Like, y'all don't be scared.
I'm gonna tell you. I get the same feeling when I drop the link. And somebody come up that I don't know. I'm like, oh boy, here we go. What is that from GTA? Oh shit, here we go. What is CJ?
Look, this Yellow best friend. Yellow. Hey.
Yeah.
Look, boy. He gone. Yellow is gone. They best friends now. Yellow's about to be talking to this bot.
Yeah, but I'm
about the white.
So
Yellow good with this. He's super personable.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've transitioned from we transitioned from baseball to food.
See,
now that I know they got
always
an
talk about
for,
food.
They want to talk about food. They love to visit Chicago. Visit
Yellow. You was in a conversation with a bot, but I have a question for you. In long-term relationships, don't you have to know how to have small talk after being with somebody for a while? Like, sometimes you do have the same small talk format in a long-term relationship because ain't shit to talk about. I know all the stuff that's new. But I know all the stuff about you. We done had all the things. We done did all. You was there usually when I did something new. It don't be shit to talk about on the surface. Like, once you start talking, you can find something. But on the surface, it don't be nothing to talk about.
To kick the conversation off, it probably start off with small talk.
Yeah.
Most times.
Hey, Lee.
Babe, you saw that on the news?
Yep.
Damn, it's raining out there for real
Yeah.
today. Like,
some shit like that.
Random shit. Yeah, that's small talk.
But see, I gained a big chunk of information from them too. So they said, I noticed that they said that where was it? Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about Italian beef sandwiches in Chicago, and that triggered my
so they turned the conversation to food.
Yeah, they turned the conversation to food. Yeah, and I asked that prompted me to ask where you from, and I found out they from Virginia. So I'm like, okay, well, if you from Virginia, why you like the Cubs? And my uncle lived in Chicago a long time ago.
And we talking about the
and
uncle.
Used to talk about how so
there you go.
That's how you small talk. That's how you small talk into
friends.
Actual important. That's actual relevant important. That's not small talk. This is small talk.
No,
that's how
relating.
You get to that point.
This is relating.
Yeah.
Right.
And actually, and I think you brought out an important skill that if you want to make friends or you're trying to date, you got to be able to turn the conversation to find the information that would be important to you before you know if you want to like move forward with this person. Like, I'm sure I could find a way to drop little hints that are like K-pop and small talk so that if a person liked it, I would find out because that's something I really enjoy, or anime. So I would be able to find a way to steer it to dig out their information to see if this is somebody I want to keep engaging with or not. After this. Yeah, context clues. But you got to be able to control the conversation to do that.
So with this being a neutral conversation, and I'm going to leave it there because we pretty much did it.
Yeah, y'all buddies.
I would either, if this is a man, I would befriend this person. If this was a woman, I would ask her out on a date.
I told you, besties.
That's how that would go.
There you go.
Okay. Man.
Good example. Rashawn is still triggered, but I appreciate him hanging in there with us.
No, that's cool.
For small talk. He's talking about small.
No, I need to practice. I need to do it because it makes me uncomfortable. So I need to practice it. And it's easy and it's harmless to use that bot to practice. So
Yeah. So everybody in the chat, practice, see if you're actually good at small talk. I think people will be surprised to find that they are. I think men who can talk panties off people probably already know they're good at it. But for everybody else, try it out. See if you're good at it. Game is just small talk.
Game is game.
Game is just small talk. But yeah, this was great. Sorry. I know we kept you here way longer than you was trying to be here.
Nah, you cool. You cool. Just
he is so tired. He is so tired from this stream.
Man. Nah, I promise you, something about small talk. There's something about it that really just irks my
Him
soul.
watching me do it was pissing him off.
I'm looking at his face. I'm like, he's feeling some feelings right now. You gotta unpack it. Gotta unpack that.
I hate it.
It must have been something that happened with small talk. You must have had a hell of an experience.
I don't remember any one thing. I just feel like there's been no place for it. Like there's been no positive outcomes from small talk. It's just
had it been negative or they just hasn't been
it's all negative. It's either like just somebody's running your ear off for like an unlimited amount of time and you're rude. Like again, you can't just cut people off or rude or walk away. It's like
so the same cycle we saw.
Yeah. So and then steering it is always seen again. This probably came from family dynamic. Because there's two things. Like there's always two sides of a coin. And I've seen this in the online space. There's if you when somebody says something, if you kind of mirror your experience or restate, some people are offended by that.
Yeah.
So some people are like, you're making it about you. But other people are like, okay, I'm just trying to share a point of commonality. I've experienced that too. Like they talked about. So I've seen two different schools of thought on that. And I came from the one where you didn't interject yourself into a conversation when somebody was talking about themselves. So
wow.
Yella's talking about, I like the Cubs. And so if I came back where he likes the Cubs and I come back like, I like the White Sox. It's a point of contention now. It's not a point of commonality. It's contention. So I don't like interjecting stuff I'm always leery about interjecting anything that's going to set the trigger off. Like,
okay, I can see that's toxic.
I mean,
No, I'm just saying to be mad at somebody because they trying to like engage in a conversation. I don't want to engage with you. I want to just talk it.
Run your ear down. Yeah.
I can see that. Yeah. Okay.
But people do that. So I don't like small talk. If I can't participate in it, like if we can't elevate it a little bit, can't do it.
Yes, that makes sense.
Yeah, and then steering it, like I said, it's steering it feels away. Steering it feels selfish. Like steering it to what I want to talk about. Like well, you're already trying to talk to me about something, and I'm going to steer it away from that. You know what I'm saying? I don't like.
And that's the other thing. Like I think also they're not trying to talk to you about anything in particular. They just trying to talk to you. That's something I have to like. I know a lot of men say they're like, "What's the point of this conversation?" It's like, it don't have no point. I just want to talk to you. Mm-hmm. You had a friendly face. So I just wanted to talk to you. So I asked you about the weather. I didn't actually have anything I wanted to talk to you about.
So how do you know the difference? Because again, somebody's got. What? How do you know the difference between somebody's trying to talk to you and they're talking to you about a subject and they're going to be bothered that you cut them off?
Well,
or shifted the conversation.
I think I just always like. I mean, because okay, if I'm just out in public, let's talk about in real life because that's where this matters. In real life. If I'm just walking and let's say a man or even anybody come up to me, they always want to engage with me. Now, some people want to engage with me because they might be selling something. So it's usually like, okay, they selling something. Because a lot of times I'm just like, what is it? You selling Comcast with some credit, so it's usually that. So usually, but they talk like they have a point. So you instantly know somebody trying to sell you something. So everybody else outside of that want to engage with me. Now, if it's a man, I have to I'm usually gonna assume he trying to hit on me. Mm-hmm. But I usually get him the benefit of the doubt and I will engage to a certain degree. Unless he got creepy, scary energy, and then I won't. But yeah, if I choose to engage with them, I think I just feel like most people who start a conversation with you that's not trying to sell, they want to engage with you for some reason. Like even if it's just women start conversations like, oh, I like your purse, where'd you get it from? And I don't know. I don't really know why they want to, but it's just they saw me and for whatever reason, maybe it's my energy, maybe it's their energy, something about them chose me to be the person they engage with. And also in the South, saying hello doesn't necessarily mean you want to engage because it's a polite thing. So like down here, if you make eye contact, you say hello, or you say how you doing, you know. So that doesn't necessarily mean they want to engage with me. That could just be a polite thing. So usually down here, a person wouldn't start a conversation. Like Dury said, if you say how you doing, down here, a person wouldn't have started a whole conversation with you. Yeah. It's something about you, girl. Right. It down here, just because somebody said hello to you, you wouldn't assume they actually want to talk to you like that. So I wouldn't be in that situation. They probably do an opener, you know, something like they probably say something just like you know how they say a hook line. Like they would say something to make you kind of stop long enough to turn around and engage with them, or, you know, hey, can I ask you something? Or
yeah, but that's very general. But I'm talking about, like, again, like in the conversation, like the person's talking to me about the dog. The person's like, they're going about the dog. I'm going to assume that they want to talk about their dog because they're talking about their dog.
Oh,
but I don't
see.
care about the dog. I don't want to hear any more about the dog.
Yeah.
How do I get out? How do I shift that? Because again, I don't want to talk about the dog, but I also don't want to be like, oh, you really care about this dog. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying, slap you in the face either. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like,
that's when you got to steer it to something else. You could actually engage with them. And that helps two things. One, if you steer the conversation to something you want to steer towards, and then they try to keep pushing it back to the thing they want to talk to you about, then you're like, you just want to talk
you
about
really
this
want to talk
fucking
about this dog. Gotcha.
And then I would probably be like, you seen the like, I probably would say something cheeky to like point out that they're steering the conversation back to this one thing.
Gotcha.
But that's kind of like, you know,
so you probe a different topic and see if they
gotcha. Because
I
I be trying to figure out, like, I had the same questions. Like a lot of times I'm like, why are they talking to me? Like I might be thinking that, but I can figure that out through the conversation. And some people just want to talk to you, or, you know, old people. That's why I say I love talking. They just want to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. But men usually want to hit on you. So like what I'll do if a man engages with me is I will literally try to have just a neutral conversation with him and give him the benefit of the doubt. And then that way, if he has a point of hitting on me, he's going to keep trying to turn the conversation to hitting on me. Yeah. But I will try to initially, like that first exchange, I'm going to answer their question, turn the conversation, see if they try to steer it back. And then once I realize they're trying to steer it back, then I know they have a motive. And then I decide if I want to keep engaging with them based on the motive or cut it off.
Gotcha.
Yeah. There you go.
That works.
Keep turning it back. Yeah.
I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? It's just, oh, God, I hate it so much. But again, I've talked about this before, man. Whatever my little thing is, I had to learn tactics. I didn't have a natural social upbringing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I had to learn rules and stuff to engage with people. So that's just another rule.
More like a survive. Like I'm doing this to survive.
Yeah, like I have to memorize. I have to memorize rules to do this. If this happens, then you know what I'm saying. It's
like
you
be masking.
If this, then this. I mean, we had this whole conversation.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't call it masking, but I don't know how to
not mask. That's man. You mask.
I don't know how to operate as a normal person would operate. I don't. I'm not comfortable with it. So
because your tendency is to mask, but you were shamed for masking. So then you're like, I don't know what's left, because that's what you were doing. You're masking.
Okay.
When if somebody tells you did this and then you say, oh, I also this thing, that's typically a sign of masking. Okay. And that's you were shamed for masking. So now that you can't mask, you're like, I don't really know how to talk to people without masking. And that's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all right.
Yeah. Well, that's where we're at. Any last words, you two?
Bye.
Yellow.
Bye.
Good shit.
Well, I quit.
Yeah, my Twitch Trinity. Y'all need to check out Yella. Y'all need to check out Kawhi Bree. Y'all need to check out Arshawn.
Absolutely. Shout out to those three.
They lie. They procrastinate.
Yeah.
They avoid. They're grandiose. They're narcissistic. They're undisciplined. They're nihilistic. They're aimless. All of those things. Right? Victim mentality. They take the quick way out. They pursue impulsive pleasures. They sacrifice meaning for expediency. They don't take care of their basic responsibilities. They fight stupidly with their parents. They don't negotiate properly with their spouse. They're bitter at work because they haven't said what they have to say. They haven't thought through what they're doing tomorrow. They drink too much. They smoke too much. They take too many drugs. They don't regulate their So it's like, and everyone knows, man. Everybody knows.
Thank you, everyone, for critically drinking. We are so grateful for your continued support and viewership, and we know we wouldn't be here without you, so we really appreciate you choosing to spend your time with your favorite dime. We hope that you're enjoying the show. Let me know what you think on the topic. Drop a comment in the chat. Thank you. Are y'all with me out there?
I'ma head out. Okay. Good luck, ladies.
Black women, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with y'all? You niggas are crazy.
Hey, blood. You niggas is certified boosie ass weirdos, blood.